Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to what is actually the last Tuesday Night Classics rewatch. Ultimately, here it will be at 10. So for the for October season, for a while anyway, we are going to be rewatching the Halloween Tree, the great animated, excuse me, Hanna-Barbera short. That's what I forgot to do. Forgot to crack open the soda on Mike. There we go. It's going to take a swig first. Last bit of caffeine boost. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do at 10 p.m. But first, I've got a pre-show planned for us. If you were with us Thursday for the pre-show, we finally got around to doing Troy Pacelli's Inspiration of Heroes stream, which was wonderful. Great to hear from him and the heroes that inspired him. And today, at last, we are going to be joined by Nanette from Netters Network. Nanette Pacelli herself is going to join us. So we'll get to that in just a second. But let me welcome the chat in, and I'll show you, go over a couple of things before we get going with the pre-watch. But let's see who's here with us. I believe Green Lion Girl was first. Welcome, Green Lion Girl. Don't know if you're here. You said you wouldn't be working time. So, but welcome anyway if you catch us on the replay. Netters Network herself was fifth thumbs up and second in the comments. Owen Lister, welcome. Matthew Flynn. Let's see who else we have in here. The early pre-show chatter there. Saratorin Clegane, welcome. Matanui, Big Al Presents. Wolf 10 Media. Computer Robots, welcome, Computer Robots. I've seen you around in a while. And yeah, Troy Pacelli's here as well. Daniel Heron, hello, hello. So got quite a few people watching, and click that thumbs up if you will. Let me refresh my window there because it's been open for a while. Okay, good. We still have more people watching, obviously, than are active in the chat. Jedi Master Zetopia, welcome, welcome. Have a few things to go over first, and then we'll bring Nanette in here for this. Sorry, my throat. I mowed the grass today, and I guess a lot of that junk got in my sinuses, allergies, and throat and everything like that. So pardon me if I need to clear my throat a lot tonight. I have both water and soda on hand, so we'll make it through. One thing I want to remind you guys about first, before I show you some really cool things I got in the mail, is the campaign for Meanwhile in the Middle of Eternity. I will place the the link in the description here. This is the campaign for my publisher, the Firebringer Press. Every time they do a novel or an anthology, they will run a campaign. They're a small house press, so they'll publish it. It's not a matter of will it be published or not. It's going to be published, but it's a matter of however much they raise depends on how much they pay the authors, how many they can print, to sell, with that first edition and stuff like that. So, that's for that. So I gave you the link there. I'll share the screen here as well. Hopefully it won't kill my camera quality, but I want to draw your attention to a couple of things there. So yeah, Firebringer Press. Steve Wilson is the owner of Firebringer Press. As I said, he's done, he's written Star Trek comics was it Marvel that did the Star Trek comics? He's written novels. He's been, he's a pretty big name. And Phil Junta, who's the editor of the press, is a Firebringer Press author who's incredibly accomplished, has won some awards, mainly a supernatural fiction author, but has done some other stuff as well. Really talented. And the cool thing about this campaign is, I'll just tell you guys, occasionally when I offer editing services, I forgot what I last charged. It was like 65, 75 or something like that. Because it costs. I mean, if you want a professional editor, somebody who's had the training, someone who has the degrees or whatever, or the work experience, and the resume to qualify them, then you got to be ready to pay some money. Everybody wants everybody to read their work, but no one wants to pay for it. But some people do get to that point where they're willing to say, okay, I'm willing to take my writing to the next level. That does mean paying for a service, and that's crazy low. What I charge, crazy low. And one option on this campaign for this this anthology, and one of my stories is in this anthology. Should have led with that. But probably, as I said before, I think my best short story I've ever written is in this anthology. It's called Girlfriend in the Basement. I read an intro to it a couple months ago, but I'm going to read the intro again on Thursday for the pre-show. But these perk levels, you can get a ebook, copies of the book. You can still get all the previous editions of Meanwhile in the Middle of Eternity. It started out with Somewhere in the Middle, then it was Elsewhere in the Middle, and now it's Meanwhile in the Middle of Eternity. And this will be the last one, so there'll be no further campaigns of these anthologies. They're going to close out this series after this. So it's a 3-part series. I have 2 stories each in Somewhere in the Middle of Eternity and Elsewhere in the Middle of Eternity, and they're really solid. The Blue Wonder was one of the stories in Elsewhere in the Middle of Eternity that I read to you guys a while ago. So good stuff there. So you can still acquire ebooks, copies of those, or hard copies of those with these links. These are some of the novels from Steve Wilson's own backlog, as well as Phil's. There's some of his novels as well, if you wanted to grab those. Arbiter Chronicles is a Star Trek-like series. It's his own universe, but it's kind of it's basically it's not a Star Trek analog, but it's in that vein, science fiction. It's really quite good. Stephen did he used to do a series of podcasts that were live action theater, like they would have had back in the day, like on Radio Classics and stuff like that. And, they get the Foley artists and everything like that. And they'd even perform them live at cons sometime, which was pretty cool. But that's where these Arbiter Chronicles kind of originated. And then Phil's wonderful supernatural mysteries and fiction there. Really great stuff. But down at the end here, this critique level, which I am just shocked that no one's taken them up on yet. They only have 3 available because you can imagine they really want to pour into their time into it. But for $85, and this gets you also a copy of the book. So if you click on that there, a critique and signed paperbacks. So it's actually a critique of your short story under 5,000 words by Steve Wilson, R. Phil Giunta, 1 paperback copy of each Middle of the Earth Eternal anthology. So you don't just get Eternity anthology. You don't just get the copy of the one with my latest story in it. You get all copies of all 3 works, and you get your work edited by one of these incredibly talented and experienced individuals. So it's for $85, that's a crazy steal. I mean, the books alone, that makes the editing work, my goodness, around 50. That's nuts. You will never, ever find a professional editor worth their salt willing to critique your work for that low. So I know I've got a lot of writers on the stream. I'm just letting you guys know about this, lest this get away from you and anybody would have wanted to take advantage of it, because the campaign's not going on forever. When is it? 17 days left. 17 days left. Yeah. So just wanted to draw your attention to that once again. And check in with the chat here. The Amazing Transparent Man. Will you analyze the socioeconomic syncretism of Woody Woodpecker and the existential male chauvinism of Johnny Bravo? Thirsty for those convoluted interpretations. Wow. Never really looked into that much. I did love Woody Woodpecker cartoons growing up. And Johnny Bravo, oh man, when I was, like 18 through 20 or whatever that was on, I love Johnny Bravo. So great. Good stuff. Welcome, Sound Engraver. See you here as well. I think that's everybody new that popped in, or at least in the chat anyway. We've got plenty more watching. So welcome to that. Now, one more thing I want to cover before I bring Nanette in and do our Inspiration of Heroes with her. There's a couple cool things I got through the mail. This one is not a birthday present, but speaking of Nanette and the Pacellis, here is, it's to Professor Geek. I mentioned to them, you guys know my love for Ernest. You know my love for Ernest P. Worrell, Jim Varney, who plays the character. And we talked about before how I love the Ernest Scared Stupid. I love the Ernest Saves Christmas, all these great movies. It's slapstick. It's like my speed of slapstick. And I don't know why, because slapstick usually isn't my thing. But Jim Varney, his charisma, he's just such a great actor. And he really embraced the specific genre acting of what it means to be a clown. He wasn't just an idiot. He's not just like a Jim Carrey just doing his usual bit. He really embraced the clown art, the art of being a clown. That's a specific craft. He embraced that and poured that into that character, which was so great. But I wanted a copy of the Beverly Hillbillies, because I remember going to the theater and seeing that in 93, I think it came out, when Jim Varney played Jed Clampett. And a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know if he can do it. I don't know what they were expecting. I mean, it's not like Buddy Ebsen could come back and do the role. He was too old at that point. He was in the movie. He had a bit part. But it was a great movie. And they're not making these films anymore, or copies of this film anymore. They're not releasing it for some reason. Maybe one day they will. But so I told Troy that one time, and Troy, of course, if there's something that doesn't exist that he thinks should exist, he just makes it exist. I love how he does that. So take off my tag there. The Beverly Hillbillies with Jim Varney as Jed Clampett there. Cloris Leachman as Granny. Really great stuff. Rob Schneider's in it. Lily Tomlin is Jane Hathaway. And I forget the guy that played Dabney. Yeah, Dabney Coleman is Mr. Drysdale. Really great film. So I'll be watching that later. Thank you guys very much for sending that to me. But I got a late birthday present that I want to go over and show really quickly too. And then I promise I'll bring the net in here and we'll get this started, because this birthday present was just too cool. Daniel Heron sent this to me. Daniel Heron, you completely blew my mind. You really did. You really did. You went above and beyond. I mean, no one ever has to send me anything anyway. Get the camera focused there. No one ever has to send me anything anyway. But wow, I mean, you sent me not just something that was cool, but a couple other things that, oh my gosh. So this, first of all, I knew you were going to send me this. This was, you know, you had mentioned this. I had mentioned on channel one time how I've got my He-Man characters back there, and I try to collect the original ones from back in the day from used sellers or you know, trades and stuff like that. And I was missing Skeletor and Battle Cat. Well, Fan Man got me the new Skeletor from the new re-release line, and that was awesome. And that's back there with the rest of them there. But Daniel Heron actually showed me this. He asked me if I had it, and I did not. This is the re-release of the Battle Cat. That's so reflective there. Try to Battle Cat in the box. Love that cover art. That's so cool. So I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to show it and everything like that. But very cool to, very excited to open this and put it back on the shelf with He-Man where he belongs. And that's all I thought he was sending me. That's all. So great. Good enough, right? Well, no. There are a few other things in the box that are really, really cool. So I'll start with one thing. He always sends me really cool books, used books or things like that he finds that he knows are interesting to me from a religious perspective. So he sent me like a Bible dictionary one time that was really cool and stuff like that. This time, oh my gosh, I don't know where you got this. Goodwill, I think it says on the side. I'll take it, man. It's a book of the Vatican, and it's all of the art in the Vatican. So the Sistine Chapel and all of the wonderful art in St. Peter's Basilica. I'll just show you a couple of the cool places. You got some of the sculptures there and everything, and then there's nice color images. Well, those are color too, but of the specific panels and pediments and everything like that. So it's an art book of the Vatican. Very, very cool. So thank you for that. Now I saw that and I thought, okay, well, great bonus, man. You shouldn't have done that. Oh, he wasn't done. He wasn't done. He included more Dr. Pepper baked beans, which are great. He always hooks me up with those. Those are great. Then I saw this. He had each one of these individually wrapped in the box. I would have waited to unwrap them for you, but I can't wait. I'm a child when I get presents to unwrap, so I couldn't do it. I waited to open these, though. This is one thing I've been wanting a while, but I kept seeing it for sale and thought, I just can't justify sending the money, so, you know, we won't. This is the Black Star Wars, the Black Series, Luke Skywalker, the Yavin Ceremony version. I should have taken this out of his box so you don't have the glare there. But that's him at the end of New Hope, of course, receiving the medal there. Very cool. Got a good likeness there to him. So that's awesome. That goes up on the bookshelf, on my Star Wars bookshelf in the living room, definitely, with all of my my EU books and comics and everything like that. That's very cool. Again, this is enough. My goodness, you just lavish these wonderful gifts upon me. But he wasn't done. He wasn't done. I can't believe this. This last thing he got me, I love everything that you sent me. That was just wonderful. You could have stopped there and never sent me anything else in the world, and I would be forever in your debt, Daniel Heron. But wow. Wow, 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 wow. Guys, he found this thing. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned that I wanted this on stream before, but I've always wanted it. It's been on one of my bucket lists, kind of one of those toys that you didn't get as a child, and the time passed, and oh well, you figured you just do without that. Well, no, Daniel Heron said, no, you shan't do without that, Professor. All right. It's original. It's still in the original box from back in the day. So it's a little, it's got some wear on it. So the box is a little crushed a little bit, but no, this is amazing. This is the Ernest doll. And he actually, back in the day, it talked. I don't think this one still talks. Not many of them do anymore. If you find them used, not many of them still talk because, they're old toys, but you can find somebody to repair it easily. So I'm definitely going to look into doing that. He hooked me up, and I am going to open this here on stream before I bring in Nanette here. I can't believe this. See, this is the thing. I have this amazing girlfriend who I hit the jackpot with her. She will watch anything geeky with me. She loves it too. She'll play the video games, all that wonderful stuff. The one thing hasn't said no to, but is a little hesitant or doesn't really seem excited about is watching Ernest movies. And hey, fair enough, right? I hit the jackpot, not going to push my luck. She did say something about possibly watching a Ernest Saves Christmas, maybe this Christmas. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Ernest doll on the bookshelf so it can just kind of stare at her and work its charms, and we'll see what happens. But I got the We Really Do Care, from Kenner Products, the certificate of packed with care or whatever. So hopefully this won't be too. I think it's going to be buckled in there in ways, so I won't spend too much time on it because I want to get Nanette in here. But I just wanted to show it to you, if at all possible, without taking too much. Oh, it's got one of those things. Okay. At least I can pull it out of here this much. Back of the box. All the great Ernest sayings that it says. Hey, Vern, pull my string. I talk. Are you kidding me? Know what I mean? All the great Ernest sayings. They're all there. I'm so excited. So excited. So here it is. I won't take the time to cut it out, but I'll put his proper hat back on. This will be sitting on my bookshelf, especially next time my girlfriend comes over. So might not have a girlfriend after that. I don't know. We'll see. How flipping cool is that? I love it. I absolutely love it. I remember wanting one of these back in the day, and it just got away from me. But that is so cool. That is so cool. So thank you, Daniel Heron. You just blew me away. That was amazing. Did not expect any of that. No one ever has to send me anything anyway. But wow. So thank you. Let me check in with the chat here before I bring Mrs. Nanette Pacelli on in. Let's see. Owen Lister says Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider, I like Rob Schneider. If you don't, though, he say it's a bit part in the movie. He's not a main part or anything like that. It's still a really good, funny movie. It's actually one of the better because, some of those movies that they make, the adaptations of old TV shows are horrible. They just miss the mark. This was actually really good. They added some elements to make it stretch out into a movie, but it was completely faithful to the old series. People talking about giving Battle Cat a bath. That's a little weird. Not gonna touch that. Wolfton Media. Yeah, it was. I mean, my birthday was a while ago too. I guess this was just a late present. It was in September 4th, but man, I'll take it. Agent Boomer's with us. Welcome, Agent Boomer. Let's just say the Ernest doll looks like something from Toy Story. That's ironic because Jim Varney was in Toy Story. He did the voice for Slinky Dog. And they yeah, he originated that voice. They had to replace him eventually because tragically Jim Varney passed away from lung cancer. But Computer Robot says, got a video idea suggestion for you. Comic book industry, Marvel and DC should target mostly children again. I think Marvel and DC needs to die. They should just die. There's nothing they can do to save themselves. They just need to die, both of them. I don't care about their comics anymore. They both just need to die. Never print another comic book again. Let the characters go to public domain. They can't do any good with them. I have no desire to see anything more from DC or Marvel. Those characters are ours, not theirs. They need to just stay hands off and let it go. Let's see. So creepy. Troy thinks the Ernest doll is creepy. No, it's awesome. Oh, Matanui bathing a cat. It's an angry cat, Battle Cat. You don't mess with Battle Cat. I was watching an episode the other day where he threatens Skeletor himself. He jumps up in front of Skeletor, and Skeletor turns around and runs away. It was awesome. Awesome. So welcome Leah plus size as well. All right. Arcade Burns. Good job. The ultimate test. Yeah. Yep. All right. I think we're all caught up with the chat there, but let's go ahead and welcome Nanette in now. So let me bring Nanette in. So again, just to intro this is where I'll cut the video out and make it its own, which I'm going to do with Troy's from the other day as well as Nanette's here. The Inspiration of Heroes series is something I started a while ago. I thought I'm always talking about what heroes mean on my own, to me personally on my channel, and from an academic perspective, talking about how they relate to mythology, our cultural mythology, how they affect us from a cultural level, a societal level, as well as an individual psychological level. And I share a lot about that from big picture, sort of society level. And I'll talk about my own experience, psychologically, but it's a very limited, angle or perspective there without other people. So I started bringing other people, friends of the channel, in to give their perspectives and the things that, are interesting to them. So we had Fan Man, we've had Big Al, we had Sound Engraver, we've had Troy now, and on the net as well. And I'll eventually like to get to more of these. Just because I'm taking a break from streaming doesn't mean I'm not going to do these anymore. I want to get Agent Boomer in here and Daniel Heron himself, and some of the regulars out there, definitely. So that'll come, as I have time. But I'd been wanting to have Nanette in here for a while, and I finally got around to it, and she was available, luckily. So let me bring her in, add to the stream there. Welcome, Mrs. Nanette Pacelli from Netters Network. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
Wonderfully. Is that your new computer working?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And of course, I've got that fancy headset that a certain somebody gifted to me. So, I'm all set.
I don't know who would have done that, but That's awesome. Yeah, you sound crystal clear. There's no delay. There's no static or anything. That's wonderful. Cool.
Oh, it's so wonderful. I have pretty much a brand new laptop because I have
Awesome.
a whole new drive in, and it's working so perfectly. I love it. And
Very
about
good.
your earnesty stuff, you'd be surprised. Girlfriends put up with a lot. I mean, there's so much stuff that Troy was into that I wasn't, and now I'm into him too. And of course, now I'm a wife, so
I have no delusions that anyone else is going to get into earnest like I am, but it'll be a test of toleration, right?
well, there's always He-Man.
He-Man, yeah. When she already likes He-Man, she'll watch that. So, you can't be with me and not watch He-Man, So,
Yeah. And you were
but
talking about allergies earlier, and I totally sympathize. Mine are acting up today. We were forced to put the heat on. So now any dust that was in the vents is blowing up, and I'm allergic to dust. So, yeah.
oh no,
Yeah. So if I cough at all, it's because I got that crud in my throat that I hate. And yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I've been doing the same thing, so no worries. Agent Boomer, you brought the super chats, Nanette. Thank you. $5 just to say hi, Nanette. So, back to Agent Boomer. Cool, thanks for that. So, yeah, well, we'll kick off this series here. So, you've watched them before that I've done, and one of the kind of questions I start out with, and then whatever you have to say about it, and if not, we'll segue to other things. But in terms of like your, it's kind of like your geek biography, right? What in terms of heroes, what are the heroes in your life, earliest to however early you want to start, to however long you want to go in? What heroes influenced you and inspired you growing up?
Well, I wanted to start off with Troy is the wordsmith in the family. I'm not as wordy as he is, where he can totally talk off the cuff and talk for hours. I'm not as wordy as him, but I will tell you what I can. So I grew up with different heroes. So in the comics, I grew up with Superman and Supergirl, and I saw them as people who just wanted to help other people. And that's me. I mean, I love helping other people, so that really drew me to them. And the Bible even says, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." And that's Proverbs 11:25. If anyone wants to look that up. And there's just nothing like seeing somebody happy because you did something, and it could be the simplest, smallest thing, but it can mean so much to them.
Mm-hmm.
And, those are the things that kind of drew me to these heroes. Then, of course, on TV, I had the Lone Ranger, the Protector. I wanted to be him so bad. I wanted to be that person that
The
would
Lone
swoop
Ranger,
in and
right.
save people and lock up the bad guys. But girls weren't allowed to be heroes like that.
Oh.
So, yeah, so I couldn't ever like dress up like the Lone Ranger or anything because I was a girl and I'm older than most y'all. So, back in my day, it was girls play with girl toys, boys play with boy toys, and there's no mixing. So, yeah. And
That's
then
a cultural thing too, like different pockets of
yeah.
of geography and stuff. So
Absolutely. I mean, I was growing up in the 60s. So, back then it was a total different culture.
mm-hmm.
And then for other heroes like Troy, the Klingons came for me much later, and I see them as the epitome of honor. So if you don't have honor, what kind of person are you?
Yeah.
But of course, my biggest real life hero is my mom. Now, my mom worked 2 jobs. She took care of 5 kids by herself because my dad wasn't around a lot. And she helped with the homework. She taught me to cook and to sew and to take care of myself. And I couldn't have done that for my kids if my mom hadn't taught me. So I was there for my kids as the protector, the teacher, the helper, just like my mom was for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, did you, I think you've spoken about your mom before. I know that's a big deal. And did she have heroes herself? Did she turn you on to any kind of characters or read to you any stories, or did she just remind you of anybody, or just her alone just kind of did it?
Just her alone. I mean, to me, she is Superwoman. She
Nice.
is the epitome of the superhero as far as female superheroes go. For male superheroes, well, Troy spoke on the last stream about being a gentleman. And when I met him, I was surprised that such a man existed. I mean, I had dated guys only wanted, one thing, and I didn't. I wanted a relationship. I wasn't interested in one-night stands. So, how sometimes when you know something is meant to do, I can't talk today, how something was meant to be,
yeah.
Like maybe when you met your girlfriend, you just kind of knew. Well, when I met him, I just remember looking into his big brown eyes, and I said to myself, I'm going to marry this man.
Wow.
And that was at the beginning of December of 91. By the end of December of 91, we were engaged. We married 8 months later.
That's right. That was a con too, right?
Yeah. And
Nice.
28 years later, we're stronger than ever. So he's
Wow.
my hero. He's been by my side through literally everything.
Wow. Wow. 28 years. That's amazing having your husband be your hero. That's wait a minute. This doesn't line up with the current feminist agenda. You can't choose your husband as your hero. Get out of here.
Well, he's also my best friend. So, I mean, we do everything together. Like I said, there were a lot of things that he was into when we first started dating, and even first got married, that I wasn't maybe so much into. But then I grew to really like some of those things. Like I got more into Star Wars. I mean, I'd seen
Mhm.
the films, but I wasn't into them. And now it's like I've got a Millennium Falcon sitting in my garage, it's 6 feet long. You
Oh,
know,
awesome. That's right. You told us about that. Yeah.
yeah, and I got him the sail barge, which was really, really
Hmm.
hard to get because Hasbro had put it out in a limited quantity,
Hmm.
and it was like I want to say it was something like 5,000 or 8,000, something like that, and then that was it, and so you couldn't get them after that. And we found out about it after everything was all over. So we're like, okay, I guess we can't get that. So I did the sneaky wife thing, and I kept going online and trying to find it, and finally found a guy that lived literally 2 hours from us.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to him and made a deal with him about getting this thing for. It sold for $500 on the Hasbro Pulse site. So
Oh, wow.
I got it for 1,000. So he made a profit, but he also threw
Whoa.
in so many extra freebies. All these different figures he just threw in the box with them.
Mhm.
And it's like he goes, here, I thought you could use these for a sail barge. And they were a good deal of the ones that go on the sail barge because I
Nice.
had
That's awesome.
extras. So he met us halfway. We drove an hour, he drove an hour. We met up in a parking lot of like some mall and exchanged the goods. And it was wonderful because,
Wow.
you know, that's the sort of thing I do. I mean,
Wow.
it's he could tell you,
Lucky
I'm one
man,
of those
Mr.
people that do
Pacelli.
that. Yeah, it's like not tooting my own horn, but I'm
That's
that
awesome.
type of person. I can also find just about anything. You tell me
Mhm.
you're looking for X, I will find it because you're like, I can't find it anywhere. Yeah, I'll find it.
Mhm. Yeah, you found when I was looking for the green screen or the stage lights or whatever, you found those and everything like that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And of
Cool.
course, my wanting to help others also flows over to my channel. So
Mhm.
starting with helpful hints and things that are just really helping others. And they may be really simple things like my box, how to fold a box so it
Mhm.
fits into spaces better. But sometimes those are the ones where people are just like, well, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Because it's something so simple. And my channel will be growing. As soon as I start being able to edit videos, I'll be having a lot more up, just so you guys know.
Mhm. Yeah, that first video was great, and I mean, you've got acting, cosplaying and stuff like that behind your belt, and you just look 100% natural on camera. It wasn't like, a lot of people, like when I started my YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I teach for a living, so I've been used to standing up in front of a crowd, but for some reason, the camera was just like a completely different alien thing. So it was It took me a while to get comfortable in front of it. But I mean, you just look like you were Vanna White, and you've been doing this forever. You just came right out and did your spiel, and there's no problem. So.
What was funny is that because I wasn't able to edit yet,
Mhm.
I actually did, I think about 9 takes on that,
Mhm.
trying to go all the way through without making a mistake. And that's the one that I went through without making a mistake, flubbing my words,
Yeah.
dropping the box, and I'm like, okay, I did it. Here we
It's
go.
always good when you don't have to edit. You can just like upload that and boom, that's good.
Exactly. And since all of my other videos need to be edited, I can't put any of those up yet.
Hmm.
But it's like, now that my computer's working and Troy's going to get me the editing program I need, it's like I can put all the videos up. So I've got ones from back when I had braces.
Oh wow, wow, that's awesome. So I do have a couple follow up questions here for you, but first, Sound Engravers, thank you for the super chat, $5. Says Netter and Troy are 2 heroic peas in a pod. You guys rock. Thank you for the inspirational story. Long live real ladies and gentlemen. Definitely,
Oh, thank you.
definitely, absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. So, okay, man, let me get to the super chat. Another one. Wow. Oh, and Lister 499, you're great to listen to, Ma Pacelli. So
Aw.
wonderful, wonderful. I agree. Sentiments shared. Absolutely. Now, so a couple things. Well, you mentioned Troy, being the gentleman and everything like that. And you were looking for a gentleman. Now, you said you did mention Superman and Supergirl back in the day. Did you
Mhm.
ever have any experience with like the Christopher Reeve Superman movie or anything, or did you ever come to an idea of Superman or another character like that who was sort of a gentlemanly like hero that you said Lone Ranger already, of course. So.
Well, I actually started watching, because remember, I'm older than y'all, the original black and white Superman.
George Reeves.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
I'm a George Reeves Superman person,
That's
and
awesome.
I would just see the way that he would protect the women and, make sure that he always did the right thing.
Mhm.
And he was always the gentleman. I mean, always. I think there was even a couple episodes where, like, he took off his jacket, well, as Clark Kent took off his jacket and put it around somebody's shoulders to keep them from getting cold, or things like that. It's like always the epitome of a gentleman, always
Mhm.
doing that thing so that there was never any question that he knew how to present himself to a lady. And then
Yeah.
watching
He
Christopher
wouldn't let
Reeve
people suffer in his
later.
presence.
Exactly. And then I did grow up with Christopher Reeves too. I saw when the movie came out, it's like, hey, this is a really great film. This guy is a fantastic actor.
Mhm.
And he took the George Reeves Superman and he brought something new to it.
Mhm.
And he had more of an innocence, I think, about him. So like when he's having that conversation with Lois and she's asking him, like, well, what color are your underwear? And it's kind of like, you almost see him kind of blush, like,
Yeah.
like, what a question.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, well, I actually, can't see through that planter. It must be, what's
Made
that?
of lead. Lead,
Yeah, made of
yeah.
lead, and I can't see through it. And then it's like, oh, it's pink when she moves. And she's like, what? You're, so he
Pink,
doesn't even
pink.
mention it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, do you like pink? And he's like, very much, but he's still being very gentlemanly about it. He's not still looking at her panty area. He's
Not
looking at her
lascivious
face.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he was like kind of shy and very, I think, innocent in his role of it. So he took George Reeves and made it more innocent.
Mhm. Now,
But I
just
love that Superman.
yeah, absolutely. Now, as somebody who started with the George Reeves, and other people I could ask this too, but just it occurs to me now that you're on here. Was there any hesitance going from the George Reeves Superman to the Chris Reeves? Was there any like oh, that's not my Superman, or was it like nope, he embodies it, it's good, let's work with it, or as from an audience perspective?
Actually, no, from George Reeves to Christopher Reeves, no problem at all. The
Cool.
Superman that followed afterwards, yeah, I had an issue with it because I
Yeah.
didn't feel that they really embodied Superman the way that George Reeves and Christopher Reeves, who no relation,
Yeah.
took Superman and portrayed him.
Mhm.
So the other
Yeah.
Superman just didn't have that. They seemed more arrogant to me,
Mhm.
and like, yeah, I'm here to be here, and yeah, I'm Mr. Tough Guy. But there was none of that innocence or that chivalry that I felt the other two had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I mean, I love Dean Cain, I love Brandon Routh and Tom Welling too. But there was a special something that the Reeves had. That you're absolutely right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, now Tom Welling, I never really thought of him so much as Superman,
Clark Kent. Yeah, yeah,
kind of thing. It was
yeah.
he's this guy with unusual powers, but you never saw him fly. He never wore the suit, so I can't really put him in the Superman vein. It was kind of like
Sure.
training to be Superman,
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, one other question I had for you was Troy talked a lot about Klingons when he was on, and I know that that's something that you two share, and that you've every time you look at the cosplay pics from Kanza, you guys, both of you, do Klingons really well. Is that something that he got you into, or you got into after knowing him, or were you into Star Trek and Klingon kind of things before that? Because you met him at a con, you were clearly there for your own reasons, when you first met.
Right. Well, when we met, I was doing more next generation captain outfits.
Oh, cool.
And when I met him, in fact, I was at a convention wearing a black miniskirt and the captain's top, and I got the nickname at the convention of Captain Miniskirt. I actually had my own fans. Yes, I had these two geeky guys that were adorable that I actually saw at several conventions, and they'd always run up to me and go, oh, can I have my picture taken with you? It's like, sure, guys, come on, bring it in,
Nice.
And I just thought it was like so funny and so cool that I had fans.
That's cool.
And so when I met him, I would happen to be wearing the mini skirt and high heels and the captain's top. And when I met him at this convention, he was actually kind of across the room, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was a Klingon, and I happened to just kind of glance over, something got my attention. I looked over to where Troy was standing, and he's just staring at me. And then his buddy Otto came up to him, smacked him on the arm and said, come on, let's go. Like, what are you staring at? and kind of like brought him out of his trance. Well, then
So it wasn't a creeper stare. It wasn't, like madman stare, but just a
I think it was kind of like just entranced. He
wow,
could
in
tell you
awe.
more about what he was feeling, but I felt
Yeah,
he was just totally entranced.
cool.
And then a week later was the opening of Star Trek 6. So they happened to be a theater right near my apartment. It was the Esquire Theater. I lived like 3 blocks away from there. And when I was at the convention, I actually signed up for a Star Trek role play game. And one other girl that signed up at the same time, we became like instant besties. So she's like, when we're going to the theater to see the movie, my game master is going to be there. And her game master was Troy. Mine was some other guy.
Hmm.
And he happened to be there too. And
Oh,
when we were
wow.
talking, later when we were talking, I managed to switch that Troy's my game master because, well, as I said, I looked into his big brown eyes. And my only thought was, I'm going to marry this guy. And what's funny, I didn't even know anything about him. I didn't know his name. I didn't know if he was married with 10 kids. I knew nothing about him, but I knew I was going to marry him.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Well, first of all, RK Burns, he's playing off of my Vanna White comment. He says, I'll take a tea, Netter. So, and Troy Pacelli is just chiming in here. Says, yeah, pretty well stunned. I really didn't mean to stare. I was just gobsmacked. And he couldn't fit in at her beauty. So that's what he meant. I understand. But that's so cool. It's kind of like Kismet. I mean, it's like the idea that you saw each other first at a con, but didn't talk. And it's just like, oh, we'll never meet again or whatever. And then automatically just showed up again when you do that. It
was like a week later at the Star Trek 6 open. It was really crazy. Awesome. And then, of course, we were part of the same Star Trek group. So then from there, we met different people with, I think it was CAG at the time. So it's the Klingon. CAG. Oh, what was it? Seeing a Klingon Assault Group. I had to think of what their initials stand for. Okay. And we joined that together as part of the Star Trek group. And kind of like that was it was part of the Star Trek group, history or whatever. Yeah. But it was a different group. So we had Star Trek, just Federation, and then we had Star Trek Klingon. Mm-hmm. So CAG, then eventually we joined Kai, which is a Klingon Armada International, and now I think they're all one again. And Troy can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And we just became involved with that a lot because they were doing charity work. So what you would do is you would dress up in your full Klingon battle gear, and you would go to walkathons and direct traffic, or go to different libraries and do what we called either jail and bails, or we do trivia contests to help raise money for the libraries and that sort of thing. Yeah. For that one, my funniest one is I'm wearing my all leather Klingon battle gear. I mean, head to toe leather. I'm directing traffic for a walkathon. Cop car pulls up next to me. Both the cops asked me out. They were into leather.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, sorry, fellas, but I'm already taken.
Oh, that's right. Yep. That's what the men like to hear. You're taken. Yeah. Wow. They both asked you out. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, the way they were looking me up and down, I'm like, oh, no. Boys, you just move along, okay?
That's not creepy at all. Wow. Gosh, that's cool. I like you said that we touched on the charity thing that I want to come back to, but I'm looking for a picture. I can't seem to find it. I think I showed to you before, but you said the grab it, the jail and grab kind of thing. That's for charity, right? So yeah, so you can you can like pay to have the Klingons go and arrest somebody at the con, right? And they bring them to their jail, and then you have to pay to get out, and that's like the charity part, right?
Exactly. And they can donate however much they want. So even the person that's having them arrested, you can tell them, okay, if you want so-and-so arrested, it's going to be $10, or whatever you can afford. We can also take a step further. And if the person that's in jail go, you want to get out? $10.
And it all goes to charity, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All of it goes to charity. And we've helped out a lot of different charities that way. Even if it's just, like $500 or $800, it's something that helps the charities out. And that's something I really, really love doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of the superheroes in general that I learned to give to others who have the need, and to help where I can lend that hand, to protect when somebody needs protecting. And as a Klingon, I've protected people. I've gotten in front of other people going, no, you need to back up now. Don't make me bring out my Klingon on you.
Nice.
I mean, I'm 5'4". I'm tiny. I have scared people built like linebackers.
you've got the mama bear thing and the Klingon, thing. Yeah. Don't get in that way. Yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah. Way back in the day, I was 16, 17 years old. I belonged to a company called Andy Frayne. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They're basically ushers for different theaters. They also work at the airport,
Okay.
helping with baggage and all that sort of thing. So basically, I was a crowd engineer.
Okay.
And I ended up at a concert, and it was one of those things where they booked me by mistake because they thought Nanette was a black name.
Oh no!
And I show up there, and I am the only white person at a Boots and His Rubber Band concert.
Wow.
With Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan and all. And what were you paid to do or hired to do there?
Well, they were going to be putting me on the door to, take tickets and all that. And they're like, no, you can't be here. I was like, well, my ride's gone. They're not going to be back till 3 in the morning when I'm off duty. They're like, okay, you're going to do this. You're going to take people to the backstage and come right back. Don't talk to anybody. Don't look at anybody. I'm like,
that's horrible.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't scared or anything, but it was funny. Just this one white face in a sea of non-white faces.
It's funny.
So I had just taken somebody to the backstage. Actually, I think I had taken, it was a friend of Shaka Khan's. So I had taken backstage. And so I took him backstage. I'm on my way back up the aisle. And a very well-dressed couple was standing next to some seats where a couple of guys that built like linebackers slouched down the seat, acting like they're all that in a bag of chips. And they're like, excuse me, we think these are our seats. And I'm like, okay, can I see the tickets? Looked at their tickets, saw that was the right row and everything. Looked at the two guys, and I was like, can I see your tickets? And I'm starting to get an attitude at this point. And they're like, yeah. So they're digging in their pockets, pulling out, kind of handing it to me like, yeah, here you go. I look at it and said, fool, you up in the balcony. Now get your butt out of that seat, up to the balcony before I kick your butt out of here. They jumped up so fast. And they're like, oh my gosh, crazy white woman.
Wow.
And pretty much ran out of the auditorium. And the nice dressed couple just got in their seats real quick, like, thank you. I mean, they were scared. And it's like, don't mess with me.
Well, Tim Idiot says, wow, rolling my eyes at the idiots who thought that. Yeah, that's what I like about your story, though, is that you talked a little bit about the heroes already that, inspired you and, had you going out, interested in a gentleman, not this kind of, any other kind of treatment of a woman, but then also the, like the Klingons, there's an honor to them. And then you draw on that inspiration to protect others or serve others, to, with the charity and then, taking care of business at the Chaka Khan concert. That's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. So, let me just check our time here. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up in a couple minutes here so I can take some time to switch over. But in closing, first of all, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up that you haven't got a chance to yet? Please, take as much time as you want for that. But then I'd like to know what, like right now in this moment, what fictional heroes do you look to? Like, what are you most, a certain television, movie series, or book series, or whatever like that you might be interested in? Like, if you had to say right now in your life, which fictional hero do you draw inspiration from? What would that be if you could name one?
Well, I really have to go with kind of, Doctor Who, but David Tennant.
Oh, okay.
It's like the way that he handled things, he was a hero. I mean, yeah, all the doctors were heroes in their own way, but they were heroes differently. I felt Tennant was more of a protector than some of the other doctors. The other one just seemed to be like, okay, here we go. Oh, something bad's happening. Okay, we got to take care of this. Whereas Tennant really seemed to be a protector in a different way. He would make sure that the icky bad was really gone and out of the way. If something like there was one, and I know Troy can probably throw out the episode name in there, but there was one where, the one with the library, honey, you know which one I am. Put that in there. Where he's being stalked by, well, everyone that's there is being stalked by these shadows. And he goes something like, I'm the doctor, look me up. And they all shrink back because they realize, wow, this guy is really, powerful.
Oh, well, yeah. That's cool when a hero's reputation precedes them. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's done that on many instances where he's gone to aliens and gone, I'm the doctor. I think he did that once with the Cybermen too. He's like, yeah, I'm the doctor, look me up.
Awesome.
And it's just, one of those things like, don't mess with me. It's like, like me, it's like, don't mess with me. Don't mess with people I love or care about. I will put you in your place. I may
Yeah.
be tiny, but don't, bank on that holding me back.
I love that. I love that.
And I
That's
always felt
awesome.
that Tenet was kind of that same way. It's like, I may be one person, but don't think I can't do you a lot of harm.
May only have a sonic screwdriver, but we're gonna do this, right? that's
Exactly.
that's
And that's
cool.
that's probably one of the things I always want to be looked at for myself is I want to be that person that I can look back on and be proud of my actions and not regret them.
Hmm.
And, just be that person that, people can look up to. Anytime that someone's like, I need help, I can ask Nanette. I know she'll help me. I want to be that
Yeah.
person people know um, I'm there for them. You can
Hmm.
call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll drive over to your house and take care of whatever you need, or you need to come by me because of whatever. It's like, come by. I've got a guest room if necessary. We'll put sleeping bags down. You can sleep on the floor, if you got, more people than we've got beds for.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, there's not a lot of people that I know of that I can call them at, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and instantly they're there,
Yeah.
what do you need? No problem at all. I'm there. Um, but everyone needs somebody like that in their life. And I want to be that someone.
Absolutely. That's a great, yeah, that's what a great aspiration. I mean, and that's what a hero is, and that's also very much the heroine archetype too, that I talk about sometimes. So that's, wow. Awesome. Thanks for inspiring us all with all of that. Definitely.
Well, I have cosplayed as Supergirl.
That's right. That's right. You showed us that. That's right. Yep. That was a good cosplay too. The blonde hair and everything. Yeah. That was really cool.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there then. But thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story there. People in the chat, I was seeing, I wasn't able to, I didn't want to interrupt you or whatever, but a lot of people were saying that they loved that story and it was really inspiring to them. And I see Tom Spiegel has joined us. Leia Plus Size was saying how much she enjoyed it and stuff like that. So really appreciate you sharing that with us. And you're not going anywhere, of course. And that, guys, I'm going to bring in the rest of the panel here in a little bit, and we're going to watch the Halloween Tree, the animated series. But I'm gonna take a few, 10 minutes or so to switch things over here. We'll go blank on the screen and play some music to get back in later. But yeah, thanks, Nanette. Nanette, you still there?
Yeah, it's
Well, we
like you
made it
kind
through
of
the
roboted there for a
interview
second and
anyway.
then froze.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. We made it through though without any audio trouble, so that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and we will be back in just a little bit, guys. And yeah, take care. Stay tuned, and we'll come back probably a little bit shade or two after 9 or after 10 at this point. But I will be back, and we'll do the rewatch together. So the Halloween Tree, go download it, rent it on all the usual places or whatever. It's out there. It's easily attainable. The Hanna-Barbera Halloween Tree animated series.
Well, thanks for having me. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. hopefully that that worked. You guys heard that okay? Came through. I think I did it last time. Of course, I should have taken the running banner off of the end of it there, but there we go. All right. So we're back. I'll bring in the panel here in just one moment, but to say a few opening words about the Halloween Tree rewatch. Thanks to everybody. Well, first of all, thanks to Nanette for doing the heroic inspirations there. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate that, and appreciate all that you guys do for the channel, both the Bocellis, both. You are just wonderful, treasured guests here, and always a part of the Professor Geek community and channel. Absolutely. So thank you guys much. For the Halloween Tree rewatch, everybody loved the book study that took part in it. Uh-oh. Troy says lots of re-roboting now. Got the Japanese dubbing thing going on. Yeah, let me use the let me lose the camera here, and we'll see how the audio goes. How does that for audio? Am I still roboting? Let me know that. If the audio is good, we don't need the camera from this point on in the stream. So just let me know if we're good there. I will wait and see what you guys say. If it's roboting a lot, though, I'll go out of StreamYard and jump back in. But I will. Nope, that didn't help. Okay, still roboting. All right. Well, nope. Trooper says audio is good. All right. Is that just a Bocelli Wi-Fi deal, or is is audio bad? Let me hear from some other people. Audio sounds good to Casey Scott. Joshua V, audio's good. Sound Engraver's going to check on your device as well. Yes, it was a great book. All right, cool. Never change, Prof. Nice. Yeah, I should have known better than even try to hit the camera on when I came back, because cameras always it gets a little weird when I've gone and get back. All right, most people are saying the audio is good, so I'm going to stick with that. Once I bring you guys in the panel here, then we'll see what people say. But as I was going to say, people seem to love the book study. A great book, a wonderful. It was Ray Bradbury trying to do for Christmas what Charles Dickens did with the Christmas. No, I'm sorry, I just said that wrong. Ray Bradbury's trying to do for Halloween what Charles Dickens did for Christmas with A Christmas Carol, and I think he pulled it off really well. So we're going to watch the animated version of that. Now there is some differences in this animated version from the book. The book came out in, what do we say, 63 or 73. The animated series comes out, I think, early 90s. Hanna-Barbera. There are going to be some differences here and there, but Ray Bradbury gave it his blessing. He even narrated it. He's going to be our narrator that we hear, and Leonard Nimoy starring as Mount Shroud. So that's the setup. Let me bring in the panel here. With me, as always, is my trusty TA, Big Al. Say hi, Al.
And the book came out. Book came out in 72, by the way.
72. All right, thank you. Numbers. Ouch.
The Professor's Kryptonite.
So, exactly. The Professor's Kryptonite. That's a good way of putting it. And next up, we have the Klingon cleric himself, Mr. Troy Bocelli. Welcome, sir. Wonderfully. And bring in Nanette Bocelli here to keep Troy in line. Nutters Network. Welcome, Nanette.
Hi, guys. I figured I'd make my avatar something a little bit more creepy.
That'll do it. That's creepy.
I see Troy made the same decision.
Yeah.
Nice one. Sing.
I also want to thank everyone again for all the kind
from the channel.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that I want to just thank everyone again for your kind words in the chat during my little bit there. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone seemed to love that. So thanks for doing that. But back from her long hiatus from the channel, she's come back to join us for some rewatches here. We have Sound Engraver, lovely and talented Sound Engraver herself.
Hi, guys. Welcome. How are you doing?
She's back.
Long time no talk to you.
Hello. Yes. I was doing sound check while he introduced me, so hopefully that wasn't too much of a delay.
Oh, nope. Sounded good. And I just remembered, Age of Boomer, if you're here watching, I can't remember if I asked if you wanted to be with us tonight or not. But let me drop the link just in case you wanted to be here with us. I don't remember. You are more than welcome to. Nope, that's not the right link. Let me find that. Don't feel any pressure, but normally I wouldn't have so many people on, but it's not like, come on, this Age of Boomer. It's not like he hogs the mic or anything.
It's not like me, right?
So let me No, yeah, Troy is a wonderful person to have on stream. You need at least one good Troy, but you don't want a lot of Troys on the stream.
On Sundays when we get through the show, we do the whole, okay, how'd the show go and everything. I'm like, oh God, I feel like I just talked through that whole thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta like rein me in. If I'm talking too much, he goes, no, I couldn't think of anything to say. Just go on.
Okay, guys, I did a sound check, and it looks like there's probably another delay, so you might have to exit from.
Okay, I'll just I'll jump out and jump right back in. So you guys, well, I'll leave you with the question to talk about. Maybe you guys can just go in order here. Al and I just did the book study, so I'd like to know before we start watching the film what you guys think about the book or thought about the book. However much you read or whatever, as before we jump into the study. So Al, if you wanted to say a few brief words, since we've already heard our thoughts, but then we'll move on to Troy and Sound Engraver and Annette, as it looks like we have them lined up in the chat here. So I'll go reboot myself, and you guys take it away.
I really enjoyed the book. I thought Ray Bradbury did a wonderful job bringing a little bit of Halloween magic. Although I do think the final parts of the story were a little darker than I thought they might have been. So, but other than that, I thought it was a fun read, great poetic language that he uses. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm back now. So let me know in the chat or Sound Engraver. You can let me know from your device too if I still sound like a delay, but usually that fixes it completely. But we'll go to Troy.
No, yeah, it sounds better to me too.
Cool.
Yeah, I gotta say it wasn't. The book was not what I expected. I kind of expected it to be a little bit more like what's that other kids series, the scary stories to tell in the dark or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get a lot of scary out of it. I kind of felt sad. There was a lot of sadness that I got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing a little echo from somebody's computer.
Yeah, I hear.
I'm totally alone, so it's not me.
Echo from somebody's computer.
I'm hearing the professor somewhere.
Yeah, I'm hearing the whole stream coming through again. Let me.
This very well could be mine.
Sorry. That's
Well,
really?
Little
Sound
sound perfectionist.
I'm sorry. I was checking my device and I realized the mic was on. So
I
see
thought
what
that
happens.
might be that, but I was not going to suggest it because I couldn't believe that could possibly happen.
See what happens when someone takes a break for an extended period of time.
Yeah,
for the
there you
rewatch
go.
group.
I know this might be news to you guys, but I'm not perfect.
Well,
what
we think you are.
surprises me is that you admit it. Women are never supposed to admit that.
Oh, I'm honest. No, that was funny. I was like, oh, something's happening with Troy and Annette's computer or whatever, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm next to my iPad right now. It's a microphone. Because I turned you guys down and listened to my iPad, but I didn't turn my mic down.
That's
Oopsie doodle.
Yeah, everybody gets one. And Al gets 10.
unless you're the professor, then you get one a week.
Hey, it's my channel. You get five a day.
No, that's true. But yeah,
were you done? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying that I felt it just kind of made me sad. Yeah, I mean, it was a positive ending, but it was still kind of sad. And I guess it's a little sadder from the point of view of a middle-aged guy looking back on life than it is maybe for a kid reading it. But yeah, that wasn't really where I thought that was going. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Michelle, what'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I like the imagery, even some of the quite absurd ideas. Yeah. And my favorite of the whole thing is, when you become an adult, sometimes you forget to read children's books or books written for children. What I've forgotten that I've loved so much is an adult character like Mountroud, who's so, eccentric, and he is, of course, the personification of death. But I loved that he said random things and random commands. Quick, build a kite, and then they all start building kites. Because kids have that natural ability to just say, okay, let's do something. And I always like that adult figure that acts as somewhat of an absurdist, but also who is a mentor and teaching the kids a very important lesson.
Yeah, I like that that child wonderment that is part of the fiction, but they do have that. Like I'll tell my daughter, sometimes I'll put these little porcelain houses out in the woods, just like a step or two back into the woods off our property. I'll tell Alyssa, let's go check on the fairies and see what they're doing, see what they're, oh, they're not home now, but there's their house over there. 100% believes it.
That is so precious. I think I'm falling a little in love with you right now.
Let's try and cool it then.
Okay.
Netter and I have a fairy door on the what do you call it?
On
The bottom
the
of
side
our
of the
house.
house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
I give them candy ginger. They love it.
I just think that I just think that's so. I mean, me kidding aside, that is so wonderful to give that magical imagination boost to your daughter. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, kids need that, and adults. The world's going to do enough disillusioning.
Yeah.
Parents can help keep
sure.
that magic around for a bit longer.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah. All right. I didn't mean to cut you out. Were you finished, Sound Engraver, or did you?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Nanette, you guys read it at the same time here just recently. So did you have a different experience from Troy, or were you similar?
Actually, I listened when you were talking about it. Troy actually got to read it because we got the book late, so he read it, and I just listened when you guys were talking about it. And my first thoughts on it was like, only kids can have adventures like that. I mean, whether it's in real life or their imaginations, it's so awesome. Because I remember being a little kid and just coming up with these whole worlds as a kid that were all inside my imagination, but they were so vibrant and so real to me. Just like these kids, like, was that real? Was it their imaginations? But it was combined imagination if it was.
Yeah.
And then, as an adult, you look back and remember what those times were like. Like, yeah, I remember when I used to do stuff like that and how cool it was to hang out with my friends and we'd go on these adventures and whatnot. And the author made everything so vivid that you could envision everything that these kids were going through. You can, envision flying the kites and eating the candies and all that and rushing to save their friends and, what they had to do. You can actually visualize all of that. And I think that really makes for a good writer. If you can envision what they're trying to tell you, then they're doing it right. If you have to think, I don't get it. What are they trying to, they're talking about, this, that, and the other, but it doesn't make sense to me. I can't picture how they've done that.
Yeah.
Then that's not really good writing. It's like, you just can't get that, that message across if you're not describing it in a way that your reader can go, oh, I know exactly what you mean. Like the author did here. I knew exactly what he was talking about when he was describing things. Like, that is so cool,
Yeah. Yeah, it helps to be in the hands of a master writer too, like Bradbury. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the reason I'm just kind of let us have a little intro there is because this is only an hour and 9 minutes, and that's probably with credits and everything like that. So I am starting at the exact 0 mark. I'm watching this on my Amazon Prime, so I'm just going back to all the way to the 0 mark. I don't know what that'll be for the downloaded. I think I know. As soon as it fades into the purplish night sky and the music comes in and everything. So it's not like there are no logos or anything to deal with or anything. So
yeah, my copy's like that too.
Okay, cool. So, yep. So everybody can cue that up at home. I will warn that as I said, there are some changes. Mount Shroud's a little different in this version than he is in the book. I thought in the book I got a little bit more of a grandfatherly aspect to him. In the animated series, it's a little bit more of like a Willy Wonka style almost. You'll see what I mean. It's still good, but it is a slightly different. There are some couple of differences as adaptions. We'll do. So, all right. Are you guys ready to go ahead and count down, or do anybody need extra time?
Nope, I'm ready.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, let's get this Halloween Tree rewatch started. So for those watching for the first time or catching the rewatch for the first time, I will say 3, 2, 1, play. When I say the word play, that's when we go ahead and jump in and hit the button. So here we go. The Halloween Tree, 3, 2, 1, play. And if anybody needs timestamps along the way, just let us know. We've got the music just starting now. And I do love this haunting music.
I love the logo too, the Halloween tree, and it looks like it's cut into the pumpkin of the clouds.
I just realized I've got the audio playing here. Let me get that off. Lest I get a copyright issue. There we go. To the headphones.
I actually am surprised no one's done a live action of this.
Oh,
I would think it would lend itself so wonderfully to a live action.
And remember, the book said the town was not so much wilderness you couldn't see the town, but not so much town you couldn't see the wilderness. And I think the design of the town here has done that very well. I also like the color scheme, the purple, the warm colors of nighttime as Halloween starts to set in.
It almost looks like watercolor arts.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, that's Ray Bradbury speaking.
Yep. The great Bradbury's voice himself. And you guys remember how hard I geeked out over that intro. It's so poetic and so wonderful.
And of course, it looks like the town everybody would love to live in. The perfect little small town, and it's got a theater, so that's good.
Yep, that's right. Matthew Flynn says, sounds like the Harry Potter theme. You're right. It's that same spirit of spooky, but magical spooky, not dark, scary spooky, you know?
Unlike my avatar.
Yeah. And all of those shots of the town had, even though it's a very different art style, had that kind of Norman Rockwell kind of thing going on there.
Absolutely.
Oh, how clever! Putting the
broomsticks
on either side of the as if riding the broomsticks. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yep. And they added a little bit. So I like these little touches, like Tom Skelton's dad is a doctor, or not. This isn't Tom Skelton. This is the guy who dressed up as a mummy. And then the witch, of course, Henry Hank is no longer a witch. We've got a girl as a witch, which kind of makes sense because what little boys would dress up as a witch these days? You know, maybe that was a back in the day kind of thing.
And Krampus?
Yeah, that's the gargoyle, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Boys aren't witches, they're warlocks.
Yeah, or wizards or something like that, yeah. I love that we keep talking about Pip before we see him. That's a great way to introduce a character like that live, you know, so you don't have the wonderful long narration. I think he does some of the narration for Pip, but not all of it.
Mummy's leaving parts of himself all over the place.
I know. Yep. I love that he gets that energy of childhood when the excitement and adrenaline starts pumping. You know,
it's always that house that gives an apple.
I know. What's up with that? We don't want fruit.
There were times where we'd go trick-or-treating as kids and someone would give us some change. You know, they would just have a bowl of change, just grab a handful, throw it into your bag.
Wow.
Or a little small toothpaste.
No.
Never got that.
That's wrong.
That's evil.
Wrong. Actually, we did that one year. We measured out the change in certain amounts, wrapped them up in plastic, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids will like money too. So they definitely reduce the characters, which you'd have to do for a visual interpretation, medium interpretation. In the book, there were so many boys, we didn't even get all of their names. We got all their costumes. But yeah, so it makes sense that you would reduce it, you know, to about 4.
There were what, 8? There are 8 in the book, right?
I think so, yeah.
I love that every scene looks like an illustration or a painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Hanna-Barbera doing this, remember? And this is a far cry from like the incredibly fun, but the kind of low budget Jabberjaws or Scooby-Doo shows, you know, from the past.
But what's very important to note is that what we're seeing in the backgrounds, those wonderful paintings, are the backgrounds.
Yeah.
And the foregrounds are the individual cells.
They're
so
animating the kids over that.
Very much the Hanna-Barbera style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's the difference. We've got Pip in the ambulance right away. We don't have him, but I love that the lights fade in the house and everything, just showing you the.
But they have to condense the story for this medium.
Yeah, it's a good way to do
works.
it. It doesn't hurt the story. It's true to it, but it's condensing.
It's not a Hanna-Barbera style that, as far as the characters, I'm familiar with. This kind of looks like another producer.
Well, at this time in the 90s, Hanna-Barbera was just about defunct. It was kind of doing their modern stuff for the Cartoon Network. You know, they did Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, and all that. That was Hanna-Barbera, I think, or the same company anyway. So they did bring in some new blood, and there was some new changes. But you're absolutely right; it doesn't look like signature Hanna-Barbera, except for those little touches like Troy mentioned.
Well,
I actually didn't know that this film was made in the 90s. That would make sense.
this is also a larger budget than Hanna-Barbera generally worked with. They, they didn't have to economize the motions and use stock footage over and over and over again and stuff like that.
And that's exactly how I pictured Tom Skelton to look, even long before I saw this. That's about what I pictured.
Yeah.
Yeah, those rooms don't fly, girl.
Yeah.
So Pip had left him a note, much like he tells them in the book, to go to the special haunted house he found, and he'll meet them there. Which makes sense from a boy's perspective. Oh, I just got to go to the doctor real quick. It's no big deal. And we know that this is Pip's spirit, of course. It's kind of hanging in limbo as he's getting operated on for appendicitis.
This is a very active music score.
It is. You're right. It's going through all the scenes, and it's even mixed kind of loudly, isn't it? Or is it just my headphones?
Between the output and our speaking, it's kind of hard to tell. This is my first time watching this, actually. But it's a lot of dialogue with the music, and maybe that was a musical direction of that kind of animation.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot of the 80s cartoons do that. I think He-Man does that. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the music played throughout the entire episode. My daughter likes to watch those. And
things like the leading tone or the raised fourth degree. The raised fourth degree is used for wonder, as we heard in the beginning. The leading tone, da, 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 it's very much a musical trope for a scene, kind of a Halloween scene like this. Of course, John Williams used it for Harry Potter.
Okay.
It's like
Arcade Burns. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Those darn Ents grabbing everybody going by.
Arcade Burns says this also. It sounds like the music is a little louder than the voice in the mix, which is kind of a cool effect, actually. And I love that house design. Wow.
That is good.
I was picturing more of a dilapidated farmhouse in the book, but this one, wow.
No, I pictured a house like this in the book, but I pictured it set in the ravine. I didn't picture it on a hill.
I would love a house like that.
Right?
Yes. All those
Troy can tell
gables.
you, I would love a house like that.
Look at the buttresses on the side. See the flying buttresses? So like when they get to the Notre Dame? It's
That's
kind of like the
awesome.
house is designed a way to mimic all the places they're going to go.
And they've got hidden passages and stuff in that type of a house.
Oh, yeah.
I told Troy, if we ever, get a lot of money and we can afford to build a house, I want to build an old Victorian mansion, and I want lots of like hidey spaces and secret doors and stuff.
In a dungeon, perhaps?
Yes, because that's where they would play D&D.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's exactly right.
Makes sense, huh?
That's a cool visual, because the book talked about how the porch, all the planks were almost tuned to different notes, like old wood can do.
Yeah.
But I love that they made the wood like rustle in the wind and do those musics.
So what I'm hearing is a pipe organ.
Oh,
So
okay.
the panels on the steps are emitting an organ sound, which
The
I
actual
didn't
keys.
picture in the book, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you picture the noise that comes from drafty wood as wind blows over it, I can kind of see that.
A little bit, yeah.
And of course, the girl's the one that's not afraid to knock on the door. Just saying.
That is a creepy knocker, though.
Okay, now I'd be worried that I'm going to get in trouble for breaking stuff. I didn't do that.
Don't you know I'm not insured?
Yeah, right.
The great Leonard Nimoy.
Man, if the stairs break every single time you ring the doorbell, man,
Yeah.
that's expensive.
Well, it just shows you how many times they get visitors.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is called a microburst, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't
am
know that,
Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Tornado
mic-
lingos in a
Yeah,
non-
microburst I think is a horizontal force like a tornado.
We can find out more from meteorologist Katie.
That is
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
Kind of has a Mr. Burns vibe.
Right.
A little bit, yeah. And he's like, "Why have you disturbed me? I have no time after this, this, and that." So it's a little bit more of a Willy Wonka, like, you know. Moundshroud in the book was welcoming them and wanting to take them on this journey. You know, this one's kind of fooled into it or pulled
I
into
love the watch. It's this fob with all the clockworks inside that's overly complicated just for, you know, a sand hourglass thing.
Yeah.
I pictured him differently. I pictured him with a head full of like gray hair.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the picture in the book, it could.
Yeah, the
Could be,
last
yeah.
illustration of the book. And
Yeah.
I pictured kind of a skull head. Not so much the long nose.
Yeah, I wasn't picturing the long nose or long chin.
Hmm.
You know, the other thing that I get from this cartoon and the animation style, I get a little bit of the old Rankin and Bass, you know, like the Hobbit. And
That's
that
what I
kind
was
of
thinking
thing.
too.
Yeah. Or the night before, 'twas the night before Christmas, that little cartoon show.
I have to believe that the animators on this were inspired by that. If some
Oh,
of them
yeah.
didn't actually even work on them.
Probably.
You know, with a nose like that, a chin like that, it must be very hard to eat or drink. I mean, imagine getting like a glass up there.
That's what they make straws for.
That's true.
Now that is how I pictured Pip.
Yeah, yeah. So he's talking about the appointment he has with Pip, you know, the spirit of Pip there running away. So he's trying to pursue Pip. And, very, very different Moundshroud than the book. But in the end, it'll all kind of wrap up, you know, in a nice way. But and see, I like the fact that Bradbury gave this his blessing and said, "This is cool." Not that this is an exact or this is exactly what I tried to do with the book, but Bradbury always recognized that there are going to be differences in a film adaptation. You know, you can't be grumpy old Alan Moore or something, you know, or all the time.
I love all those pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's only a couple of them are actually lit.
Yeah. Might be budget, I think, maybe, or
I'm thinking foreshadowing because don't they have to eat, like break open a pumpkin or something in the book? To
the pinatas later. yeah.
okay.
It was the pinatas, right?
So I'm thinking the ones that are lit, one of them is for each of them. Oh, maybe
Mhm.
not.
Well, look at
No
that.
more lighting.
There is definitely a purpose to when they're on and when they're not.
Yeah, yeah. So he's lighting them all up. Okay.
Or they're lighting up in reaction to him.
Mm-hmm. And that's that spirit of boyhood, you know, lighting them up. That makes sense.
Ugh.
I can't help but think that, what would a remake of this be like if done by Tim Burton?
Oh, he'd be the one to
Yeah,
Right?
with a strong writer and script that doesn't
Yeah.
let him sway into some of the recent nonsense he's done. He'd be a great visual artist for it. Absolutely.
Because I can't help but, as he's climbing this tree, think, this is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true, because I really did like the Frankenweenie, the Disney one he did.
Both versions.
Yeah, both versions.
We're all just pumpkins on the Halloween tree.
I guess maybe the pacing of the book wouldn't have appealed to children of that day or something. I don't know. It's so they got to have this tension about Moundshroud trying to pursue Pip and this, kind of uncertainty going on here. I don't know why.
Well, there is a bit of, and we've seen a couple of examples of it already, like a narrative shorthand because of the medium.
Yeah.
You could have a couple pages to set something up, whereas here you need to get it across kind of quick.
Right away. Yeah. RK Burns says Tim Burton would have Depp as Moundshroud and Danny Elfman music everywhere, and I would totally be okay with that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Right?
Kara Clava. So the pumpkin is his property, he says.
Someone fall asleep.
I think it's just Al breathing.
Just me, what? Oh, I'm just watching. So, excuse me for breathing.
I like this. Now he has already given them a hard time about. Do you really know about Halloween? Do you know why you're dressed like that? But Skelton says anything's possible on Halloween, though, right? Like there's an instinctive knowledge of the magic of the night.
Right.
You see when he touches like a couple of this little purple cloud kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. They changed Candy Corn Soul to Pumpkin Fire Soul, which I guess works for the visuals of the film, but I love that Candy Corn Soul line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I love the fact that Leonard Nimoy decided not to sound like Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing an old man voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, if I didn't know it was Leonard Nimoy, I could actually have gone through the whole film not even realizing.
True.
That's a good actor.
Yeah.
Charlotte's Web, all of a sudden.
Charles.
Oh yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. So we were talking about actors not recognizing their voice. The one that really gets me is Beauty and the Beast, Robbie Benson.
Oh yeah.
Did not realize that was Robbie Benson until years later.
Yeah. I love that they kept the circus posters.
Yes.
Now in the book, I got more of a snarling, kind of danger from the circus posters, but they still kept that here. It's really cool. Making the kite out of it.
If you think about lion and a hippo, those are pretty dangerous animals.
Oh yeah.
Hippos are way more dangerous than people realize.
There's videos of hippos scaring off crocodiles and stuff. So we've got the purple sparks. They use the wood from the fence.
Yeah.
I forgot the animals coming to life. You're right. Yeah. It's been
rhino,
been a
gorilla.
Was it last year that I watched this last, or was it the year before? I read the book every Halloween, but I can't remember when I last saw the animated series.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since never.
Mm-hmm. And they still achieve that very Chimera-like look on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like the artists like read the story and had to kind of put down what they imagined from the description.
Man, it's a frightening kite. Need to like get one of those kites and paint it like that.
Yeah. I like that the sound effect is the wind, but it almost sounds like a snarl and a growl.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You're now the tail.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it
And
would have
look at
been
him smiling because he's having fun.
it would have been a bad move if they didn't put Skeleton first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's good to have the mummy last because he's like tail with extra tail hanging.
And they're going to his era too. With that, I love that music. I love how it just gives that magical feel to the whole thing. It's wonderful. The chorus, in there and stuff.
And yeah, whoever I forgot who said it, but you're right. It's very Harry Potter-esque.
Mm-hmm. You were saying it's the fourth is the wonder element?
Oh
Rex?
no, wonder, as we had seen in the kind of that beautiful intro music, more like that ethereal music. But some degrees are, the leading tone, maybe the raised six, some things that aren't part of the diatonic scale.
So Wolf Den Media makes an interesting point. So he said this movie, and I'm guessing he must have seen it back in 1993. He said that this movie is what introduced him to the concept of the Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
I had a high school Spanish introduced it to me, but not everybody takes that, so it's cool. And plus, to be introduced to this much younger as a child is a good idea.
I honestly learned about the Dia de los Muertos in Spanish class as we were learning about Mexican culture.
Yeah, that was me. Nice to see the clouds kind of worked as a transition, and it just sort of fades from the farmland to the sand.
Ow.
Yeah,
That
right.
would really hurt.
Rough landing. And of course, in thousands of years, some archaeologist will find it and goes, "Ooh, a cross! I wonder where this came from."
And they don't go right into the tomb or anything. They kind of give the Egyptian custom of almost kind of like Dia de los Muertos, but leaving the food out for the ghosts. Good old-fashioned trick or treat. I love it. Oh, Green Lion Girl finally joined us.
Hey.
Hola.
Apparently, work was more important than my stream, but whatever.
Yeah, people with their priorities, I tell you.
So now you're gonna have to listen later to hear my bit about the heroes that I grew up with.
That's right.
You missed Netter's pre-show.
And because you weren't here, hi, sweetie.
Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah, and they're about to see the big surprise they had. I think in the book it was just sort of a vision, but now having them actually at the table, you really get their reaction.
Arcade Prince, welcome kids to Living History Night.
An ancient Egyptian and English sounds so similar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the magic of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I I get not only from this animation, but also from the book, there is a certain amount of dream logic, ascribed here.
Mhm.
And it really makes you wonder if the kids physically went on this journey or if it was some sort of a dream,
Mm-hmm. You get the magic of or the supernatural element of Mount Shroud, Vision 2 there.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing, though, that would really worry me about a remake today, because they'd make the remake be like they got something bad in their candy or something.
Mm-hmm. Green Line Girl, well, you normally miss most of my streams, so we're even.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ooh, burn.
Darn right.
Fair enough.
Turnabout's fair play.
Now, I want a cape or a mantle that could do that, glide in the air.
Right?
That's awesome.
Go to Wayne Industries.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I've seen the footage for the new sparkly Batman, and
oh no,
now they've got him in one of those really hyper realistic bodysuit things.
Oh, gross!
Which looks so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I understand it's realistic, but sometimes realism is not what you're going for. Especially in a world where, a man can fly and shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
I like this. In the book, it was just a voice from inside the tomb that called out. But I like the fact that it's almost the statues outside. The old pharaohs speaking here,
physically drawing him by bandages
because
because he's a mummy.
And the mummy, well, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the book, we got Mount Shroud as the mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the oh, I love that with the hands.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Addition.
I was just thinking, if you got to have a tattoo, that seems like the kind of tattoo to have. A moon on one palm and sun on the other one. Kind of now makes me wonder if in ancient Egypt they had spectacles. Not outside the realm of possibility, but I don't actually know.
Know your cocoon, boy. I love that line. Yeah. Touch the strange stuff. And the idea that the monsters that we think of all of the classical monsters, they're ways to romanticize death, Yeah. The mummy coming back from the dead. Dracula is a monstrous, avatar of death.
I like how he's got the little wrapping around his nose.
Yeah. And chin.
Move.
And there's the Pip's sarcophagus. Eduardo M's asking what the next book study is. Not on Professor Geek channel, but keep tabs on the Catholic Bible Geek channel, because we'll be doing Chronicles of Narnia before too long. So at least, an installment or two at a time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Made fun of his wearing glasses.
I love that.
Well, I like how he's got the baseball bat.
A slingshot.
Slingshot as kind of this as ornamentation.
But that real spirit of boyhood, there is mischief involved and the fun of boyhood, but also there's that added little element. And you never made fun of my wearing glasses, that real friendship too. It's an innocent spirit. I like that. And I didn't catch, does the character, does the mummy have a name? I know Skeleton has a name. Jenny is the witch. I think they made Henry Hank the gargoyle monster this time. But what's the mummy's name? I forget if they said that or not.
Let me see.
Henry?
Here.
Was it Henry?
I'm thinking it's Henry.
Yeah. No, Henry Hank is the...
Wally?
Wally, and Henry Hank is the monster, right?
Man, that's some good chanting.
Oh yeah.
It's quite haunting. They're doing microtonal microtonality where they're going smaller than semitones to have that kind of real
It's either
strange
Wally,
effect.
it's either Wally or Ralph.
I think
maybe-
it's funny how he's got a bandage around his chin and around his nose.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
So a child singing softly, like cooing. It's a very good effect.
And did you notice what happened to the light? So that child singing brought life back to Pipkin's spirit. Suddenly you had the warmth in his cheeks again.
Yeah.
And you do get that sense of the spirit between life and death, you know?
Hurry, but don't fall.
Well, yeah.
All right, so I was not Henry Hank. Ralph is the mummy and Wally is the monster.
All right.
I just had Henry Hank in my mind because he was the witch in the book. I like that he spins the tumpkin and it's like a little propeller. That'll make you sick. I remember the first time I was on a roller coaster and suddenly started to get motion sickness. And I never get motion sickness. And I was so depressed because I thought, oh man, this is it. I'm officially getting old. And then I realized, oh no, it's not that. It's this medication I was on for arthritis that can cause nausea or whatever when you first take it. So that's what did it. And then I realized, oh, I'm not getting old. It's just my arthritis medication.
Yeah.
He becomes the kite. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can't do that with eight children.
Yeah. Yeah. Wally, don't you dare tell me how high we are.
Castle.
That is a cool castle.
Castles are awesome, but so hard to heat.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, yes.
You're the druids.
But very cool in the summer.
Rhetorically gay and giving me a hard time in the chat there.
No one's questioning. How is he doing this? Why are we holding on to this guy's cape?
Yeah, it's that magic of childhood again, the wonderment and everything. How is their friend flying with a pumpkin? You know,
Good point.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, a perfect setting for this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in Virginia, an exact replica of Stonehenge, but it's called Foamhenge because it's giant foam replicas of it.
Thanks. Need courage tonight.
Yep.
We were talking about the book. I had mentioned to Elle about Stonehenge, but I actually had it wrong. It's actually Easter Island. The tops of the statues are above ground, but there's actual bodies to them that are buried underground.
Yeah.
So, Sound Engraver, have you ever looked into the acoustics of Stonehenge? Because I've read some articles about how they believe that the placement of the stones would have had a particular impact on any speech and music and how it would be projected out from it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've not looked at the actual location, but I can imagine that the stone would would cause a lot of.
But yeah, like this acoustic engineer actually created a scale model of it inside of one of those sound chambers, the ones that absorb the sound, and did all these measurements and
that
physics-y type of mathematics-y type stuff.
That's right.
So we skipped Samhain because that scene probably would have been a little extreme for a children's cartoon.
Oh yeah.
So we just had some narration over it, but still got the idea of the souls turning into animals and Pipkin, a cat here instead of a dog. But
I was wondering if that image was gonna pop up. I guess not.
yeah. But we move right into the brooms for the witches.
Oh.
Matthew Flynn said, "It's my homeland." Oh, that's right, Matthew. Are you joining us from the old country?
I've always wanted to try to make a broom.
Couldn't imagine it'd be too hard, right?
No,
Look cool though.
yeah, I think it'd be neat.
There's
I did
actually a YouTube video about how to make one from a soda bottle.
I did one in Boy Scouts, and we didn't even bother using a staff for the middle. We just had long bristles, and just swept the floor with long bristles bound together.
That could be a hard job. Now the witch, of course, is the fun of sweet, and this is cool little visual too, because we first saw her was looking for a broom and tied it to her bike, like you guys saw, so she could feel like she's flying, and now she gets the experience at first here. Those are good little Easter eggs in a story when you can come back to them with that character.
I don't think she's enjoying it.
No, but yes, that's her learning the process of it. Yeah, much like she'll learn about witches in general, their fates and whatnot.
And it's kind of like a roller coaster. You don't enjoy it at first.
I enjoy it. Alyssa enjoys it.
God, I used to love roller coasters. The Rebel Yell.
Yep.
Did they call it? Did they change the name of that?
I think they did actually. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not politically correct.
I wish I could share. I won't share images publicly of Alyssa, but I wish I could share a video of her on a roller coaster. She flips out. She loves every second of it.
That was me on the airplane, guys.
Sorry,
Just let me back on the ground, please. I have to remake that Twilight Zone episode with sound engraver. There's something on the wing.
And then she looks out the window and there's Big Al's face right there. Boom.
Don't care. I've got a Bitmoji cartoon like that.
I would imagine so. Well,
So,
I love that the moon behind the trees and the trees look like eyes. Yeah,
the Halloween moon. But you think about her character progression in this, because they can give the individual character progressions that they couldn't do in the book, because the book was more about the whole experience, from a fairy tale perspective. But Jenny, afraid of heights, established early, yet enamored with the idea of flying on a broom, established early too, and to overcome that here, and then they're going to learn about the witches too. So each of them, Ralph just had his little journey, embracing his costume, pretending to be a mummy to scare the people off and save Pipkin, and now we've had her embrace the flying broom. So each of them have their little arc for their journeys. Nope. Right out of the book.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the word witch really means. I like that animation of That's really cool. When you've got a lot of narration to do, you do a little montage like that to give something visually appealing while they're getting through the exposition.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember first time watching this, it was like, how are you going to show witch burnings in a children's cartoon?
Just
But
burn
you
their
just have the fire.
village. Yeah.
Yeah, the village more so than them tied to a stake or something. And that's perfect, right from the book. Anybody want to be a witch? And it was Henry Hanks said nope. And so Jenny's saying nope. Let's play tag.
I love the way they're doing that. They can play Quidditch.
That's right.
The thing I want to say, they just made the being a witch very real. It's like there were witch burnings, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's not just a fun thing like I thought it was. This is a bad thing, really.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the pumpkin, definitely his life force.
Which definitely ties into the folklore behind the jack-o'-lantern. The idea that it's a spirit held within a gourd.
And I love that, we had that moment with Ralph. You're the only one who didn't make fun of my glasses. And now you've got her, that he was the one who would talk her down from an apple tree, and help her with her fear of heights. So they each have a connection to Pip. And I like that little aspect of you wouldn't want Tom to see you cry. Like there is a little bit of crush going on between Jenny and Tom. Or a hint of something like that at their age anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Flint says, was that the Black Cauldron? Yeah, that's a great movie. I really do want to rewatch that at some point. I think Daniel Heron's going to do it on his channel for the soundtracks, but yeah, I'll be coming back to it around some point in the future.
Are you talking about the Disney?
Yeah,
1996 one?
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah, pretty intense.
Pretty dark for Disney, that is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that in a theater with a double feature with Cocoon.
Oh, wow. Weird. I love that almost chanting like monks chanting, because we're going to go to the Notre Dame here. I like how they do this. You were talking about this, Al, the other day, building Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about it during the book study, but so sad about the fires there and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. God.
Pick your churches. And he just calls him a monster, but eats the gargoyles. That's why it's his turn.
Sanctuary.
Love that. Goes to the bell up here first. That's cool. Oh, the window, the rose window. I love it.
Oh, come on. I want to see him ringing in the bell.
I want to see his head like a clapper.
Bong, bong, bong.
Now that's cool. Now it's not because he's demonic or something like that, but because he's death, the personification of death. And what is the conqueror of death in the Christian religion? You know, that's Christ conquered death, you know, on the cross and everything like that. So the embodiment of death can't enter.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Call the stones with your feet. The unfinished stairway. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool looking. Well, you know me and stairs.
Oh, that's right.
I always
love
see stairs on the side of a stone wall like that, and I always think of Highlander.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a great sound effect.
Mm-hmm. The rattling stones.
Yeah.
And that's actual stone that they're using.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a leap of faith. Sorry, Wally.
It's a leap of he's making a leap of her faith.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an Indiana Jones movie like this.
Right, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
Matthew
actually
Flynn,
a
the Chronicles of Prydain is the series that Black Cauldron came from. And the first movie is actually sort of an amalgamation of the first two books.
I got to add that organ to it.
Mm-hmm. The church.
This is good music. Love it. That's good.
Yeah.
I like the
Oh,
tinkling
love
of
that window.
glass as the window came together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because what is happening here, it's faith, you know, they're stepping out where they would die, but what's catching them, what's helping them not die is the church, right? So again, that image of the religion overcoming death.
What's
Oh,
funny
that's
is
cool.
the fellow dressed like a wolf looks more like a monk because he's not wearing his mask, but he's got
Yeah.
down the brown kind of
Yeah.
coat,
He
and it
kinda
looks like
it,
a monk's habit.
it kind of looks like a hunchback too.
Kind
He's
of
got that,
a
like-
little bit of a Quasimodo thing going on there.
Yeah, those are good points.
So it's the symmetry with the cathedral of this guy looking like a monk or a hunchback.
Mm-hmm. Or a gargoyle.
And filling the role of the gargoyle. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, every iteration I've ever seen of the hunchback draws the direct correlation between him and a gargoyle. So that does make sense.
Monster faces. And I like that we don't hear because in the book he was dressed as a gargoyle. That's what he's purposely wanted to be, a gargoyle for his costume. But here they don't even know the word gargoyle until Malmshroud tells them. So it's part of the lessons that Malmshroud's giving them about gargoyles of old. Whereas when Bradbury wrote the book, you know, in 72 or published it in 72, children would have known that.
Yeah.
But just a couple decades later, children, what? What's a gargoyle? What? You know?
That's interesting.
To the point now where it's like, isn't that a TikTok account?
Right.
Well, in fairness,
no, the 90s cartoon, that was so awesome.
That's right.
in fairness, it kind of has come around again with the introduction of Disney's Hunchback and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is cool. All the old monsters coming forth.
Yep.
To be employed once more.
Kind of like
your
a
old
Night on Bald
Chernobog
Mountain
town.
kind of thing.
Wait, what's that, Senegar?
Kind of like your old Chernobog.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Troy said the same thing, yeah. And like that they're shadows and the lightning fixes them in place. That's cool. And if you remember Mount Shroud's house, it did have an image like that in the front with the buttresses on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arcade Burns, stone by day, warriors by night. We are gargoyles.
That was a good series.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have all the gargoyles from the Hunchback of Notre Dame cartoony film that they had.
The figures?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I think they were from like a giveaway from the theater that I worked at.
Oh, cool. I like how they made the gargoyle face. I think I like the artistic rendition better in the book, but this is cool for the cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you heavy.
It's always the heavy kid has to deal with all the stuff. But now he's going to have his moment with Pipkin.
Oh,
Yeah.
such a sad image. It's like the second scene of the whole film that there's no music.
That's true.
It's almost like because they don't want to interrupt on the serious, on the moment
Yeah.
between them.
Oh,
And he's talking about how Pipkin took the blame for him for smoking up the house. So again, Pipkin doing different things for each of them.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
That is a cool addition. And I love the image for Pip flying. It's like a little firework, lightning, comet kind of thing with the
Yeah.
pumpkin at the head. That's pretty sweet, flying the gargoyles. Because remember, in the book, they reassembled the kite at this point.
There
And it's
was
the
a-
same-
That's
But-
creepy.
I just
Hitting
like,
his final graveyard. Oh, maybe he's talking about. He's referring to the graveyard we saw with the.
Yeah, for
Mexican-
Dia de los Muertos, yeah. Did you say something, Mel?
no, I was just saying, you were talking about that at this point they had the kite again. Maybe they just were trying to give it, they didn't want to repeat something.
Well, yeah, so the kite coming back together was to get at the circus-like or carnival-like aspect of Dia de los Muertos where they went to. But here you've got gargoyles, which are also sometimes in graveyards and stuff like that. So that can be a thematic. It's Mexico.
Wow, they know their instruments.
That's true. They must have been to Epcot.
Well, there was a time when, if you were a kid, you learned some sort of music, an instrument, even if it was just a recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I remember
that's
playing the recorder, yeah.
I went to a Catholic grade school. It was we called the recorders. The proper name was the flutophone.
Flutophone, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'd love to experience like the proper celebration of a Dia de los Muertos one day.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah.
Marzipan everywhere.
Wolf Town Media says the best quote of the night: Halloween tree, sound engraver. Wow, they know their instruments.
Yeah. Well, the music teacher's gonna appreciate,
Oh,
Got to save Pipkin. Oh yeah, Arcade Burns. Yeah, living in California. Yeah, living close to the border. I'm sure you'd learn lots of it. Yeah. It's funny too. I've talked to people raised in California and talking about the history they'd learn in school, like elementary school history. here in Virginia, obviously, you learn all about colonial history and the founding fathers. Over there, you're going to learn a lot more about the explorers that settled that the West long before America, spread over that way. So,
Hmm.
I'd like to try a candy skull.
I bet it's just sugar.
Yep, just straight up sugar.
Oh, it could be marzipan.
I'll dip it in some frosting from Auntie Anne's.
I don't know what you're talking about. What was the ingredient you said, Netter?
Marzipan.
Oh, what's that?
It's like almond, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almond and sugar paste that they make into different shapes, and they can really form it to look like a skull or whatever they want to shape it into.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm actually surprised we don't use it more often in North America instead of things like fondant and whatnot.
I don't think I've ever eaten it, but I've heard about it.
It's actually really good, but it's so sweet you get sick real quick. Well,
So this is where they meet their Mexican doppelgangers. They combined that scene with the piñata scene, which is pretty good. Good make use of time there. Yeah, we'll have to immediately bring up Coco. Coco's a wonderful Disney film. Dia de los Muertos.
Oh,
centered.
yeah.
It's really great.
That is a great film.
I was really impressed with that. Really heartfelt and touching. All about family and Next might not be so fun.
Al's favorite scene coming up.
Yep.
I know.
Speaking of skulls, Al, you better make yours darn sugary if you want that year.
I'll tell you. Don't worry, Al. It's nothing but sweetness.
I think one of the creepiest instruments is the chime because it's always used for the death knell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's still religious and it's still pure in a sound, as a sound, but it's always haunting.
Reline Girl's mentioning Book of Life. Yeah, that was another film, not a Disney film, but it was a similar themes.
Yeah, I like that movie actually.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one, but I've heard great things. I like the way they did the vault. I mean, that's really the catacombs, rather, going down the steps and everything. Oh, yeah, that's how I pictured it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Really is crazy. That's Leonard Nimoy. Oh, interesting. Him's webbed to the wall.
Mm.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's wicked looking.
Right?
Yep.
Dude.
Wow. In the book, they didn't move, but you just knew they could. The silent voices. I love that. We face death, eyeball to eyeball. That's the way of celebrating Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this, of course, is a drastic change from the book, but in keeping with each of them having to have their little journey, it gives Skelton something to do, just like the others had something to do.
All those poor corpses.
Hey, Ned, or I think next year we need to do a rewatch of Death Becomes Her.
Oh, that's a good one. That's fun.
I don't think it's set around Halloween though, but yeah.
No, but
It's this, it's that horror spirit.
yeah.
This is interesting. This added little bit here of Tom wanting to kind of be the leader, and he feels guilty, with Pip, this happening to Pip. But that's true friendship. No, I'll let you lead anytime you want. And, again, that cusp of growing too, dealing with things like jealousy and whatnot.
Well, and it also is the attitude of the leader, right? Well, someone's got to lead when I can't be there.
Yeah.
Professor does that all the time.
And here to emphasize the idea of payment. What can we give?
And you're just going to give up just like that? I think he heard me.
Nope. That's right. What is the coin of the realm? Life. So, I mean, I definitely prefer the Mound Shroud of the book, but I think this one has its merits too.
Mhm.
But the book Mound Shroud's far more endearing and far more. And you get the idea in the end of this too that this was kind of Mound Shroud playing the role the whole time. He wasn't really like that, but still. Aw, you're worth it, Al.
Oh, thank you. My pumpkin spirit is glowing. I can see the kids going home to their mom and dad. How was your Halloween? Oh, it was fine. We made a deal with death.
And we gave up a year of our lives.
For our friend. Well, that's fun.
You still got this Eucharistic like imagery, take, chew, eat, and chew. And I love it. They still have him, jetting out of the catacombs. My pumpkin. Come and see.
Arcade Burns, we made a death pact, Mom. You did a who? What now?
Well, just check your candy for razors.
Yeah.
They fell up. Then we get the wonderful scene of them landing back down. And that language of tumble through the sky like a self-made storm, it mimics how he's talked about them running out into Halloween at the beginning, tumbling over, that force of nature. Tried to watch with this my nieces once. They were so not impressed.
They don't know good art.
No, they do not. Kept trying to show me some stupid YouTube video. Dust sifted out windows to greet them. I love that. Of course, in the book, they landed on the roof, but there is a sort of a poetic touch to landing on the porch where they first entered.
Yeah. Plus, that roof looks a little pointy.
What's that?
Plus, that roof looks a little pointy.
Oh, yeah. All Hallows Eve. The last grand trick or treat. I like that line. That's from the book too.
So that's where you get your raised fourth degree.
Oh, okay. And that's very much like in like the Goonies are those Disney movies where the children on the run, you know?
Exactly.
ET&T. E.T.
I like ET&T better.
ET&T. That's my cellular carrier. We phone home.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. And we'll raise your prices. Sorry.
What'd you say?
And we'll raise your prices.
Oh,
He was trying to do an ET voice.
oh. It was so creepy. I almost thought it was the movie, like Malmstrauss.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of cool touch there too. The way they know he's still there is his pumpkin is there. It's jack-o'-lantern. And to bring Pip back in the picture, we didn't see that in the book, you know.
Yeah.
But that's a nice touch here. Actually have him alive in the end. Now, I don't know. I've never had my appendix out, obviously, and I've known a couple people, but they tended to wait too long. It's not normal to be home the same night your appendix is out.
Yeah,
Right?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
Yeah, you're normally in the hospital for a minimum of 3 days.
Uh-huh.
unless you're Dwight Schrute.
And here we go. They were wondering if it was all a dream, but he confirmed. He confirmed what they did for him. Thanks.
Well, maybe it was a shared dream.
And here we got this great ending. And there's the mountain shroud. Jack-o'-lantern.
Exactly.
Still missed that. Yes, we got the imagery right here. But I still missed that wonderful conversation between him and Tom, you know, in the book. That was really magical.
That's my favorite scene of the book.
Yeah. And I think they still could have added that here, but this is the kind of thing that I would raise the child watching this maybe before they were old enough to really understand what was in the book, but definitely read them the book when they, you know, they're old enough.
Well, now I think this is going to be a yearly tradition for us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's so great.
See, you introduced us to a new tradition, Prof.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, it is. It's like a Christmas Carol for me, you know. It's just something to do every Halloween because it brings about that you know, spiritual traditional aspect of it really nicely. And I just love hearing that music too, playing over the credits.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Amazon's prompting me to watch some of Melissa's strawberry shortcake videos next.
Sure. Alyssa's strawberry shortcake. Right.
Don't judge me. Yeah, Archie Burns, 'tis the magic of Halloween. Matthew Flint said, isn't Halloween an Americanized UK holiday? Well, is the Halloween trees taught us nothing? It's a latest version of a long past celebrated holiday.
You know, I
At
think
the end, it did say Hanna-Barbera. So,
yeah, it does. It this is, and this is where it's a little bit bittersweet too, because it's very much a story about friendship, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, laying down your life for your friends, or you know, as the Klingons would say, "Nitab kol chajap et chabwet suvui." A warrior does
yes.
not let a friend face danger alone.
Oh, cool.
Arcade Burn says Mount Shroud just sold those kids a timeshare they could never get rid of.
Wow.
That's pretty funny. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Pretty much.
Isn't it time you got a new timeshare or get rid of your old timeshare?
don't think there's any infomercial that can help you with that one.
That's darn sure.
Directed by Mario Peluso. I wonder if what else he's done. That name sort of sounds familiar, but I can't really put my finger on it.
Sounds like Mino Palouse, that little kid from Time Travel.
Voyagers.
Voyagers, that's it.
Yeah. He was also in that video that was it Dio or something like that?
What?
Never mind. Yeah, obscure reference because he didn't do anything after that.
Dio.
I thought it was Dio, wasn't it?
You mean the singer, Ronnie James Dio?
I don't remember. It wasn't my kind of music. It was
Yeah.
like late 80s, early 90s. So.
Yeah, Ronnie James Dio, like the old. He was a lead singer. He was a second lead singer of Black Sabbath after Ozzy for a time. Yeah. All right, so that was awesome. I'm really glad we got to do that, and it was so much fun doing the book as a book study, and the book studies are going to continue. Like I said, I'm having a lot of fun, but building up the Catholic Bible Geek channel, we'll do the, eventually be doing the Chronicles of Narnia over there, or Lewis's Space Trilogy, and eventually we will do Lord of the Rings over there too. So much great. I mean, on that channel, I like to keep it biblical centric, but I also want to bring in the great. I don't want to say Christian fiction because that implies that it's like of the genre of like a Left Behind kind of thing, and that is not what I'm interested in doing over there. But classic works that also have that their authors were Christian and have that heavy spiritual implications and tones and stuff like that. So,
although if you ever want to do like a series on Veggie Tales, that'd be great.
Veggie Tales, yeah.
Books that have a Catholic sensibility.
Mm-hmm, yeah, or just Christian sensibility too.
Of course,
some of the older ones, but. I think what was it? George. The Goblin Prince or the Princess and the Goblin, or Prince. I forget exactly. That was another one. George MacDonald, I think, did that one. That was pretty interesting. So, yeah. R.K. Burns says it was only around 88, 89 did they change the Hanna-Barbera logo to Cartoon Network Studios. Yeah, yeah. And I like that era too. I like that a lot of good stuff they did from Cartoon Network. So. So that is so we had a lot of fun with that. And now Thursday, when we usually do book studies, because we wrapped up the Halloween tree with today, Thursday we're going to I'll be talking a little bit about the Sleepy Hollow short story, and then we'll wrap it up with a rewatch of the Sleepy Hollow Disney, Ichabod Crane there. So which is on Disney Plus if anybody has it, it's part of the Adventures of Mr. Toad and Ichabod that you can
And if you want to listen to the short, the story, it's several versions on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
audio.
about an hour, about hour 15, hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really, really good. I'm going to talk about it. I really highly recommend it. I mean, Washington Irving, what a treasure of one of the first, well-known writers of America, and he gave us Rip Van Winkle, The Devil and Tom Walker, Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Just a great early American romantic writer set in the Hudson Valley there. It's wonderful in American Lit survey classes to move from him and then into like James Fenimore Cooper, with the Hawkeye and the Indian Tales there, and then moving into Poe and Hawthorne and stuff. It's just I love that period of literature. That's just such great stuff. So we'll be back for more of that. But that's Thursday. But before that, of course, Wednesday. I certainly won't be there, but Green Lion Girl will have a stream, so you guys can go watch that. No, I will. I always try to drop in, but I've been bad about that. I'm just busy. But no, Green Lion Girl is finally going to be doing the much anticipated Friday the 13th video game. So everybody I know is going to want to be excited about that and go watch that. And it's a lot of fun. She talks through and talks to the chat. Let's chat, make decisions for her in the game and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. And at the same time, of course, Daniel Herron is going to be continuing his soundtracks with Birdman, and I think Agent Boomer will probably be joining him as well. I forget which movie they're doing this time. Do you know, Troy, or anybody know?
I don't know.
They're doing 1979's Dracula starring
Right.
Frank
Langella. That's right. That's right.
Agent Boomer said that on Sunday. I just forgot.
Yeah. So weird for me to see Frank Langella with like anything other than gray hair, because I always came through from his
See, and I was the other way around. I knew Frank Langella from Dracula. So then to see him as Perry White was like, what?
I first saw him as the police officer in Brain Scan which was an awesome movie, so underrated. But yeah, Langella, he was good as Perry White. So yeah, that's tomorrow. And I know Fan Man doing his Second Cup Cafe tomorrow morning, Al.
As far as I know.
Yeah, because that moved to Wednesdays once a week now, so that should be there in the morning. And then great content for tomorrow night.
At 11 a.m. Usually around 11 a.m., 11:05.
And Thursday, as I said, we'll be back here for the final rewatch for Halloween and talk about Sleepy Hollow and the wonderful cartoon. I believe all of our panel here will return, right, guys?
I'll be
Yeah,
here.
I'm game.
Hopefully. Not
I might-
this.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll definitely try.
All right, cool. So yeah, and it'll be a little, I'll start out the stream talking about Sleepy Hollow, the short story. You guys are welcome to come in for that, or just hang out until you want the rewatch starts, whatever you like. But it'll still be about the same time period. I mean, that's very short, so we're not going to go crazy long in the night or anything. Just a little bit shorter up than rewatches usually end up, I think. So, and then Friday, what happens Friday? I'm blanking now.
Friday is the Fan Man's Friday Night Fright. We are going to be watching the Blair Witch Project.
That's right before Halloween, the Blair Witch Project. So you wanted to, yep. And then Saturday night, that is Halloween night. So what's going on now?
Halloween night on my channel, Big Al Presents. We'll be doing a rewatch of the Mel Brooks classic comedy, Young Frankenstein.
Nice.
That's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
I'm surprised Troy didn't jump in and do that again. He usually does the Frankenstein right ahead. But and, it's all ready to go. It's on Twitter. I tweeted the link. So
and Instagram.
It's I haven't Instagrammed it yet. Not the link, not the YouTube link. No.
Oh, not the link, but I saw you do the poster. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did just the announcement poster.
Or it's that comment there right after the blue Troy Pacelli.
I'll definitely pop into the chat and say hi at some point. And unfortunately, I won't be able to join you guys. I'll be taking Alyssa trick-or-treating, which the one bright spot out of this horrible nonsense that's going on in the world right now, at least trick-or-treating still happening, is a thing. But in the neighborhood, I always take Alyssa to my sister's neighborhood because she likes to go with her cousins there. But I've said it before on the channel that it's such a workout because my sister's neighborhood, it's like nothing but a series of rolling hills, and every house is on its own little individual hill. So every time you ring a doorbell for trick or treat, it's up a hill, down a hill, then walk a little bit up a hill, then up the hill, down a hill.
Makes you earn that candy.
I know, right? But yeah, because plus I have to carry her when she gets tired, But this time, because of the pandemic or whatever, they're just having the candy out and tables at the end of the driveways, and the people will still be there, monitoring and stuff, and saying Happy Halloween and stuff. But at least it'll save me having to go up the walks. I'd rather have the traditional Halloween experience, but at least I won't have to kill myself. My poor old bones will be intact.
You can invest in a golf cart.
Well, last year I took a wagon and I was pushing her, but then I was like, wait a minute. This is a whole lot of weight to be pulling up and down hills still. So I thought about a motorized something or another, like a go-kart or something. Yeah, we'll work on it. So yeah, that is that. And then Sunday, of course, after Halloween, Sunday will be Sunday on the Catholic Bible Geek channel. I'll just throw it out there. Are you still good for that, Sound Engraver? The All Souls Day talk on holiness? Yeah,
I think if it's between around ballparking 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That's good.
Sometime in the afternoon. We're going to nail that down, but that's happening sometime in the afternoon there. But back to the in terms of the geek stuff there, Sunday night is Study Hall on Mr. Agent Boomer's channel himself. With he's got somebody co-hosting with him. I don't know.
Some schmo.
That guy that call him Papa Pacelli.
Papa Pacelli.
Nice one.
Some old fart.
But that'll be your place to go for commentary on all the current geek news, and a lot of people were missing that and seem to enjoy that. And then Monday night we have our Monday night news again. Do you know what the topic is yet, or are you still working on that?
Never expect I'll have something to talk about probably until that Sunday.
I swear I thought something about the Spanish Inquisition.
All right, but that will be there, Monday night news, and then back to Tuesday now. Instead of Tuesday with anything on the press channel, like I said, I'll be doing stuff in the Catholic Bible Geek. So I might very well go and do a live stream on Catholic Bible Geek that afternoon or that evening at some point. I'm not sure when, but I do have might even talk about Christian fiction or something like that and how to approach that, spiritually from a writing level or something like that. But Troy is going to be doing something about Star Trek, right?
Yep. So if you're not subscribed to Kartan, the Klingon cleric, I just dropped the link. That's where I'm going to be streaming from. I'm not sure what I'm going to do going forward, but at least the first week, it's just going to be kind of a stream, me and Netter chatting with you guys about Trek news, stuff that's going on. Ask us anything, if you want to know, what, how do Klingons say, I got to go to the bathroom, stuff like that,
Klingon mating rituals.
Exactly. Well, we'll keep it all PG, of course.
Well, it has got that terrible STD making its round.
Yes.
Star Trek Discovery.
Ba-dum-bum. Exactly.
And what time is that? Is that 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. or what?
Yeah, it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern time,
10 p.m.,
9 p.m. Central.
Okay. Cool.
It's
Professor Geek Standard Time.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Professor Geek Standard Time. Well, it works. And then Wednesday back around and everything we said. But that Thursday I will be starting the Gospel of John on live study on Catholic Bible Geek. So those interested in that,
cool.
There. All right. Any closing words on the movie or the Halloween tree in general or anything before we reconvene on Thursday?
I just want to let everyone know, make sure you mark your calendars for November and December, the day before Thanksgiving and the day before Christmas Eve. I'll be doing the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving month, and I'll be doing the Charlie Brown Christmas for Christmas month. So you might want to mark your calendar so that you're, that's coming up.
Yep. That'll be on Netter's channel. Let me drop Netter's channel again. Maybe with or without Troy, because Wednesday night, you guys all know I have my D&D night. So she has decided to stand in the gap because, as we all know, as we just talked about on Sunday, what is it? Apple whoever bought up the peanuts, and so now they are no longer going to be shown on network television.
Apple TV,
Yep, they're now behind a paywall. So get out there, get your DVDs so that you own them forever and you can watch them whenever you wish.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good point.
And Netter will do the rewatch, and if you enjoy it, maybe we'll make it a yearly thing, since where else are you going to watch it?
Exactly.
Right.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, I also want to make sure to remind everyone to go to our channels, make sure you like, share, subscribe, drop in a comment. It helps our algorithms, especially for us newbies. We could really use the little bit of a boost there. Mm-hmm. And we do appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and AJ Boomer reminds us that he'd be joining you on that Thanksgiving special. I forgot about that.
Well.
Yeah,
exactly.
And also, Troy always drops those links, which is so much appreciated. And if you're like me, we've been to all those channels, we assume. But the other day, I was realizing, oh my gosh, I haven't subscribed. Like just today, I realized I wasn't subscribed to Wolf 10 Media. How did I not subscribe to Wolf 10 Media yet? I just assumed I was because it's part of the community. So it's always good to go through those links every now and then, even if you think you're subscribed. Make sure you are. Or sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you unceremoniously at times. So always good to make sure you're still subscribed.
Check every now and again. Hey, I haven't seen Green Lion Girls, stream in a while. Oh, that's because the notification bell stopped ringing.
Was unringed, yeah.
That happened with me with Sound Engraver. I was looking for her thing yesterday, and I'm like, okay, why haven't I gotten a notification on this?
Come on, I'm not even at 1,000. How big a threat am I?
my notification bell for you was off. And I'm like, why is that off? I mean, everyone I subscribe to, my notification bell should be on.
Or if you look,
new computer.
And if you look at my descriptions in my rewatches, I list everybody that I know that has a page.
And,
and links to them.
And here's the test for me: if you are subscribed and you have the notification on, in the next, I'm hoping 24 hours, I should be putting out a new video on my regular channel, because I just feel like ranting about something that was just announced by Hasbro about Star Wars toys. So I'm gonna get my my rant on.
Very cool. Very cool.
Sound engraver approved.
Oh, of course. Yeah, there won't be any strong language, just strong sentiment.
Got it.
Righteous indignation.
I don't know how righteous it is, but you can look at it that
I
way.
have to come up with a situation where we do pre-recorded videos. We beep out any profanity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love. There's some videos out there, and I'm sure someday I'll end up doing a video like this myself, where they throw in beeps as if you're swearing, even though you're not, just because you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Green Lion Girl saying, "I'm not even to 100 subscribers yet." Hey, takes time. Hey, it looks like I'm rocking. Well, I mean, there are YouTubers way bigger than me, but looks like I'm doing pretty good on Professor Geek. But Catholic Bible Geek, you jump over there and it's 213 subscribers because I haven't been regular with it, so it takes time. But those who are interested in some religious content can sub there if you haven't yet. Troy dropped that link.
I mean, I'm probably hurrying this. I know we're probably short on time, but guys, to get your subscribers and your views, you must post commentary.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Live stream's fun, but it doesn't do what if you do want to garner.
I'll tell you what, though, the way to cheat at that is exactly what Aged Boomer's doing with the with the Sundays.
Yep.
Because I pointed out to him, we all week we talk about, hey, here's an article, and I just put them together in a list.
Mm-hmm.
Send them back to him, and it works as an outline. And he literally goes through it, and he'll say, well, the next topic we got is this and this and this. And I said that separates it so perfectly for you to just take it and pull that piece out and put it out throughout the week.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was doing that too. A lot of YouTubers are doing that. It helps to keep things regular. So yeah, I'll be doing more of that on the Catholic Bible Geek channel, definitely. But yeah, so help us out, subscribe, and keep throwing those thumbs up our way if you think we deserve it. And if you don't think we deserve it, keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. No, thumbs down help the algorithm too, believe it or not.
I was just going to say, it's funny because that's exactly the intro that I wrote out for the video I'm going to release tomorrow is if you like it, tell me what you like, so I can do more of it. If you don't like it, still feel free to hit that thumbs down and rant and be as nasty as you want, because it all helps my channel overall.
But you got to say the comment a little bit more nasty. If you don't like it, keep your comments to yourself.
No, yeah, no. She's got to be regretting that because her channel's dying. Brie Larson, who we're talking about.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh,
yeah. Brie Larson has a YouTube channel that started out real strong and was monetized from day one, and now it's pretty much dying because nobody cares about it.
As I'm always saying, hashtag justice for Kevin James.
That's right. He provides amazing quality content.
Yup.
Absolutely.
And just for spits and giggles, if anybody out there has a YouTube channel and you want to check your stats, you can go to socialblade.com. That's socialblade.com. And you can see all your stats. You can look up other people's stats. I'll actually drop a link in the chat below so that if you ever want to look up your stuff, you can.
Yeah, cool. You can look and see how much Mecha Random makes on average per year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I looked up some big YouTubers, expecting them to have, seen like they make lots and lots of money, and it's like $400 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Not
maybe
really
4,000 a year. It's like, really? Yeah. That's all?
Yeah, this is take it. Yeah, exactly. It's a little tiny boost or supplement, but it's not. Yeah, unless you're
unless you're Matt Pat or something, you've got 40 channels, posting constantly. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all for us tonight. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we'll be back here again on Thursday, and of course all that content to check out tomorrow. Do that. But yeah, until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the stories you love.
So whose skull do you think is sweeter?
Yours now, definitely.